When did you become a VTuber? Today. Duck. Oh! Oh, I'm saying that I want to tell you a secret because you tell everybody. You right, though. Ew, look at all the gross goopy goops. Whatever the frick they are.
Oh, look at him! What a chunk! It is what you call a plastic in the shape of a long tubular stick.
You mean a straw? Oh. Help me. Help me, friend. So how quickly am I gonna die if I just walk out into the...
Don't fight me! We're not supposed to move!
Wait for me, guys. Wait for me. Wait. Oh, frick, step on me. Don't impede our vacationing or blow up these islands. I will stab you.
Yeah!
Do I dare look at you? Long arm's gonna come and find his way in. I don't think I'm there, right?
Okay, I'm there! Oh my gosh, I'm in a hole! Whee!
It always bothers me when there's no shampoo by a kitchen sink. Wait, what did I say? Did I say soup? Did I say soup instead of soap? Shampoo? What's worse? Shampoo? Please tell me I said soap this time.
I said shampoo! No!
Can we come? Like this? You want me to stop looking at you like this? Good spooks tonight? Oh, ah! Are we okay? Are we safe? Does his arms reach into here? Ah! Oh my gosh. You know what I do want? I want tits. The Twitch integrated throwing system. Roses are red, violets are blue. Omae wa mo shinderu. Nani?
Oh, you slugged on!
This is my first limited character constellation. Shut up! It's been a little bit tiring. What the? I'm dead! Why am I not dead? Why am I not dead?
Say hello to my little friend.
What the balls? Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Has already managed to make contact with the divine.
Oh no! Big traveler. Big traveler. Get down! You don't know what to do. Sup? Hi. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a good Thursday. Hope things have been treating you well the last few hours since I haven't streamed. Oh my gosh, my brain. Hi. Hey y'all. Hope you guys are excited to do Hangouts. Dude, I will admit though, I am very excited because we're so close, y'all. So close. We gotta do Kaeya, but then we can pick up with Lynette, and then we'll be all done with every single Hangout. It's gonna feel good.
Good? Oh, good. Glad to hear you're doing good, Quentin.
Doing the event. Oh, this event, right? I've been meaning to start it. I honestly haven't even touched it at all, as you can see. I need to do it. I just did Lynette. Ooh, yeah. We gotta wrap up on Kaeya's and do Lynette's, because we just need to get one more of Kaeya's. But yeah. Honestly, I love filler patches like this because it gives me... I mean, I say filler. Like, there was Arlecchino story quest. That was a big freaking deal. But I like when there's downtime because I get to catch up.
Wonderful.
Oh, snap.
Cling?
I'm not sure if I said that right. I hope I did, but welcome. How you doing? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Also, I haven't run around in my Animo team in like forever. This is the team I've been using to grind like a domain. But I haven't like walked around with it. I usually have like my friendship team up. There was Arlecchino quest and new area. Yeah! Oh, I want to check out the new area so bad, guys. So bad. I just gotta, you know, catch up.
Hi,
welcome. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I don't really have much to add. But Quentin, you mentioned it earlier. We did manage to beat Cult of the Lamb yesterday, which was awesome. I was very surprised. Do you want to redeem right now? Oh, sure, yeah. Like, you can redeem your thing right now if you want. Yeah, I will admit, I wanted to start the stream a lot sooner, but something got in the way. So it became a little bit later than I would like. Streams, I mean, that might just be the norm from here on out. But yeah, because I was just gonna start on the Hangout stuff, because I don't really have much to add since yesterday. Just, you know, freaking stuff. Let's look at this. The father. It's time. Let's check out. Let me see your Arlecchino build. I know you were talking about it yesterday, and I'm really excited to see. Player not found. Are you online? You have to be online for me to check it out, unfortunately. There you are. Okay. Also, I like your icon. I love that they added this, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Father. No, it got work. Okay. Let's see. Your Arlecchino so far. I mean, this is like super recent Arlecchino too. You got 2,000 attack, elemental mastery. Ooh, passive. Yeah, passive. 63 crit rate and 170 crit damage. That's not bad. Energy recharge 105. What's our burst cost? Out of curiosity. I'm noticing no pyro damage bonus, but I think you mentioned that the goblet was the worst thing on her yesterday. Okay. Oscillation 0. Weapons. You have Black Cliff Pole. I haven't seen this weapon often enough. After defeating an enemy, attack is increased by 12% for 30 seconds. This effect has a maximum of 3 stacks. Okay, buffs attack, and also you get crit damage from it. Okay. Artifacts. Oh, this is the new set! I haven't looked into the new set deeply. When the value of Bond of Life increases or decreases, it deals 18 increased damage. Dang. First cost is 60? Oh, snap. Okay, not as bad as I thought. I thought it'd be 80. Okay, let's see. Dang! That's such a good feather. That's such a good feather. Crit rate 10% and crit damage 15. So that is probably 3 rolls and 2 or 1 at least. Dang. Okay. Must avoid spoilers. No worries, Spock. We're just gonna do Kaeya and Lynette's hangout. But thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hope you do go. Nice feather, right? This is insane. I like never use burst. Flowers better? How? I will admit, I looked at this and I was like, oh, crit damage, 14%. Okay, that's pretty standard. Oh, wow. My RNG could never. Dude, I feel that when it comes to Star Realm. My RNG is terrible in that game. Genshin, it's okay when it comes to Relics, but dang. Like, there's been times, I follow quite a few, like, Genshin content creators. There was one content creator that got, like, an 18% crit rate something. The fact you got to 14 is insane. Holy cow. That's so good. Dang. Yeah, your feather and flower are stacked so far. I want to look at your timepiece. Okay, 13 crit damage and 3 crit rate. That HP, you know, sad. But you have such a good feather and flower. Goblet, looks like you're still leveling this. Oh, I see. Because this is, you mentioned it, but this is definitely your worst piece. You mentioned it yesterday, I should say. Definitely the weakest piece. But, you know, you gotta make do sometimes. And crit rate. Dang. Also a little sad, but crit rate and goblets are like the hardest thing to find. You have such a good foundation, though, with your flower and feather. That's exciting. Oh, that's so exciting. Talents 6666, which makes sense because boss. You still gotta do with the new weekly boss. I don't imagine seeing these too high unless you have like got really lucky and also have a lot of dream solvent, but yeah, makes sense. Hangout was so hard. They're so hard, so I understand why you're still finding it. Dang, yeah, super good. Oh, I'm immensely jealous of like your flower feather. That's so good. Like I do have good pieces, but I can't help but be jealous when I see stuff like this. Like
This is just delicious. This right here, you could put that on top of a cake. That's so good.
I have some of the stuff, but I find 6 has to be a good stopping point. Oh, 6. Yeah, for sure. Like 6 is such a good baseline for stuff. Like ideally it would be nice to get higher, but if you can only go to 6, that's such a good baseline.
Tasty. Dude, delicious food.
That's not too delicious. 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 Amazing. Holy cow. Congrats, dude. Congrats on your father.
Ah,
All right. Well, so, because things are a little chill right now and the Star Rail update is coming up next week, I'm using this as an opportunity to catch up on Hangouts. If you haven't done either Kaeya or Lynette's Hangout, and you don't want spoilers, I understand if you have to step away, but if you don't care, feel free to join. Because we have to pick up from where we were with Kaeya.
Flair, hi. How you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Let's see. What did I do last time with Kaeya? We did this like forever ago. Like, I want to say it was like Fontaine, like when Fontaine was still coming out with endings, or like before Fontaine was coming out with endings or something. I don't know. Long time no see. I know, it has been a bit. How's it been? And it's so good. I've heard good things. It makes me really excited to do it. Ooh, it looks like there's this ending that's super easy to get. We just have to do a different choice here. I might play the dialogue a little bit and speed read it just so I can remember what's going on. But yeah, we just need 2 more endings, and then another one looks like it's gonna be very long.
Little Panda, hi. Welcome. How you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Birthday happened last month. It was your birthday! Happy birthday! I hope it was a good birthday. Okay, ordinary diet of the Knights of Livonia. Where are we going? We're going to Mondstadt. Somewhere in Mondstadt, right? Where the frick? There I am! That's where we're going. I literally can't remember what we were doing in this hangout, so we're gonna play it by ear. Just gonna be a super chill Genshin day, I think, with hangouts. Whee! Okay, remind me what happened.
I'm surprised Klee still hasn't escaped. I taught her a few tricks just before I left.
I'm gonna do the other options just so that we can possibly trigger the other ending.
Kids will always have their moments of mischief.
And if I end
But
up
to be able to grow up
if I end
without
up
a
skipping
worry or
dialogue,
care
it's
in the
because
world
we've
is
done this
something
before,
truly
technically.
precious.
And then Betty died. That wouldn't be the first time that happened. Did you already do Fathers? Yes, we did it last week. It was so good, dude. So good. I loved it so much.
Well, now that all the gifts for the Knights of Favonius are with Jean, next up is... Ooh, how about we visit the Dawn Winery?
Oh!
D-Luke should be there tomorrow since he has business to deal with.
Oh.
But then there's nothing scheduled for the day after tomorrow, so perhaps it'll be easier. What do you think? When should we go?
Is this where we say no? Day after tomorrow.
Great. Then it's settled. Let's meet the day after tomorrow at the front entrance of the Dawn Winery.
Let me just, after we do this, let me double check we're on the right path. Go in here. Yes, we are. Perfect. Sadness for missing it. I know real life happens. But the VOD is out on YouTube and it's also here on Twitch. If you want to see some of my reactions, I made, apparently, or at least from my perspective, I made a few people mad at one of my reactions. Whoops! Kaeya's returning from vacation from Sumeru. Right! We did meet him in Sumeru. Okay, let me adjust the time. Whee! I think it was supposed to be in the morning or something, but it'll be evening. Without spoiling. I know we talked about it last week, but for those who are here, I want to know your guys' opinion on the story quest, because apparently people were like, or Arlecchino story quest, because apparently people were like upset that there was an animation before the story quest, and some people thought it ruined it. I don't think that is my opinion at all. I think it really helped, or it was fun for me. All right, we gotta go to Dawn Winery. Like, it's one of those things where it's like good for those who played it around the time that the trailer came out, and it's also still like gives an air of mystery for those in the future who will play it when they may not know about the animation, you know?
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
It was a great way to kind of balance both. I loved it. It's so good. Such a good quest. Made me have mad respect for her. Honestly, same. Very much same. Like, for a while, I ascribed to what like Wanderer said about her. And to be honest, I still kind of do, but it was definitely a good reminder where it was like, oh yeah, people are gonna have their own opinions on characters, you know? It makes me a little sad that she isn't as crazy as he says or as he think she is, but I still respect her. She's awesome. Honestly, I will admit, if I wasn't still like getting wishes because I'm so low, I would probably try to go for her. I will be honest, I did 110 pull. I was like, if I get lucky, you know, might as well. I did 110 pull. No such luck. If it came out in-game during the quest, that'd be cool, but seeing it before didn't take away from the story. I agree, right? Like, it was a... It didn't detract from it at all. It added more depth.
You're more punctual than I expected.
It's very
Let's
late,
head
Kaeya.
inside.
Indeed!
Okay.
Hello, Elzer.
Master Kaeya? And the Traveler? Welcome, welcome. Please, come in. I'll fetch you both something to drink.
Long time no see, Elzer.
Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it? So what brings you back to the winery this... Sorry. Is there anything I can do for you?
No need to be so formal. I just returned from Sumeru and dropped by to see you all.
Ah, what a pity. Master Diluc went out to handle business last night and hasn't returned yet.
Oh no, it's not as if Kaeya was kind of hoping for that.
Never mind. The main thing is that you and Adeland are here. Oh, speaking of Adeland, where is she?
She's taking some time off. She was busy cleaning yesterday and finally has a bit of time to herself.
Perfect. I brought some gifts for you both. Here, this belt buckle is for you.
My goodness, it's exquisite. Thank you, Master Kaeya. I'll treasure it.
I just realized I forgot to give my usual spiel. If I'm focusing on the story and I end up not reading chat for a bit, that's just because I want to try to get through the story in a timely manner. I am looking over and reading chat as it goes on, so don't feel free to keep chatting even when story's happening. I am reading everything, or at least I'm trying to read everything. But also, welcome, Pat. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Flair, you said, I love her version of killing off those who betray instead of actually killing his memory wife. Right? I like that. Or at least in that case, it was definitely like a test, but she anticipated that everyone would succeed, you know? And I appreciate that with her. OVA kind of dropped the mystery out of the quest for me. I love both the OVA and the story. That's fair. Like, that's the thing, is that people have different opinions about it. I personally, like, there was still a mystery in this story, which is why I'm okay with it, right? Like, we knew who Clairvy was, and we knew who her friend was, but there was still another mystery going on when it came to Arlecchino that it still was engaging in that way. It was just a different type of engaging. And I enjoyed it. But that, again, that's my opinion. I know there's the reason why there's been a discussion about this online is because people have different opinions on it. It was a test as soon as it came out. We're going to fight her. But before that, there was still the mystery. Because if it was like we still didn't know why Clairvy was there. We don't know why she appeared. There was also the tension going on with all the other people and trying to figure out what their plans were, because it was clear they were trying to portray the House of the Heart, but we didn't know how, and we didn't know how everything fit in. So there was still a mystery there. It just wasn't, you know, who is Claire V? Who is this? Yada, yada, yada. So, but yeah, again, there's a huge discussion about this online because people have very differing opinions about it.
Would you like anything to drink? We recently finished making a new batch of dandelion wine.
Well, what perfect timing. I was just wondering how this year's batch was coming along.
Let me fetch a barrel and have someone deliver it to the Knights of Favonius headquarters for you.
Oh, I won't
my
be
mouse might be
needing an
dying,
entire
y'all.
barrel.
Might be
A
dying.
couple of bottles will be more than sufficient. Else Diluc might say I came here to beg.
Oh, it's definitely dying.
Oh,
Anyway,
Master
gonna get
Diluc might
charger ready.
grumble, but he doesn't mean it. Anyway, let me fix you both a drink.
Thank you. If my
Much
mouse will live.
obliged. Then I'll have a glass of dandelion wine and a glass of cider lake for her, if you
What am-
please.
Cider Lake? What? Cider Lake. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Pause. Pause the story. Pause the story. Ah! Oh, yeah, my mouse officially died. It dies so quickly. I didn't know it was sit at all yesterday. All right. We're back. Cider Lake?
The name is not that literal. It is a drink with virtually no alcoholic content, as Master Kaeya will be aware. I'll prepare them now. Please, wait a moment.
Of course, my drink is non-alcoholic. Don't know what I was expecting. Never mind, I'm used to it already.
Strictly speaking, that's not entirely true. Cider Lake does have a tiny amount of alcohol in it.
Please, enjoy.
Okay. It's quite sweet and very tasty.
Pleased you liked it. Looks like my bartending skills haven't faded with age.
How have you been recently? Is the winery's business doing well?
To tell you the truth, we've had our work cut out for us recently trying to fulfill some major orders. Things have only just started to quiet down over the last couple of days.
So you've had no time off lately?
Master Diluc was concerned about the same thing. But with him being out on business for a few days, who would take care of business and the guests if I were to take time off? Maybe some other time.
Or, I mean, I understand that as someone who's also a workaholic, but having days off will be important for you.
At least take half a day to see a doctor and make sure you're okay. If your condition worsens, Diluc will never forgive himself.
You make a fair point.
If you're worried about having someone to handle the winery, why not leave it to me? I'm familiar enough with your responsibilities to cover for you for a while.
Master Kaeya, Please, come back to the winery more often. We all miss you very much.
All right. No need for that kind of talk. Come on, I'll see you out.
Aw.
While I'm resting, I shall leave Dawn Winery in your hands.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Rest easy, and go see the doctor.
Good.
Such great weather today. A calm breeze and delicious wine. This is quite the treat. Though, it's a pity this batch seems a bit bland. How about I go to the wine locker and fetch one from the reserve collection? I remember it's on the second floor.
Is that allowed?
Of course it's fine. I promised Elzer I'd help. I said nothing about leaving the wine alone.
Ah. There's a catch.
Sorry, I'm a little late to the welcome party, but I believe I just heard the words wine locker and reserve collection. Planning on pilfering a bottle of reserve, Master Kaeya?
Oops.
The reserve collection is reserved for a reason, you know. You should at least run it past Master Diluc first.
Oh, Adeland, surely you misheard. We were simply taking a walk around the house.
You can't hide your tracks, Kaeya. Well, he
see.
can, but...
Anyway, what brings you and the traveler to the winery today?
We just returned from Sumeru. It's been a while, so I thought we might drop by and say hello. And perhaps enjoy a complimentary drink while we're here. Surely you wouldn't object, Adeland.
How could I object? We're simply happy that you've come back to see us.
Oh, Adeline, I also brought some gifts for you all. This bottle of essential oil is for you.
Ooh!
If you rub it on your hands when it gets cold, your skin won't crack.
Gosh, I want that.
Oh my! I can't believe you remembered something like that.
I have very dry hands, and they crack very easily, so... that would be so helpful.
Of course I remember. You always took such good care of me when I fell sick as a child. In comparison, this is nothing.
You're all grown up now, and you don't get sick nearly as easily. You don't need me to look after you anymore.
True, I don't get sick as much. But speaking of being looked after, when I was in Sumeru, I did find myself and my stomach missing your cooking so terribly.
Oh, are you hungry? Would you like to eat something? You too, traveler. Please tell me if there's anything you'd like to eat.
Oh, they look at me.
Well, now that you mention it, I do actually feel a bit peckish.
Steak?
Oh, yes. A nice steak would really hit the spot.
Gosh, I haven't had steak in forever. It's
Fragrant
so good.
cedarwood grilled. Medium. Stewed vegetables on the side?
Yes, just like you always used to make. Thank you kindly, Adeline.
My pleasure. Traveler, I'm sorry I'm not familiar with your preferences. Would you like to come with me and select a few dishes?
Oh, okay. Sure, I guess. There's a cooking pot over there. Where'd Kaeya go? Kaeya's over here. Hold on, I want to talk to Kaeya real quick, and then...
The taste of home. Truly irreplaceable.
Alright. It's your question, Quentin. You said, why do Genshin characters overwork? I think it might be a byproduct of the culture. Because, if memory serves... Well, I know it... So, Genshin is a Chinese game, right? I know in Japanese culture, overworking yourself is very common and kind of, in some ways, like, expected, you know? And I've heard that is common in a lot of Asian cultures, and I know I shouldn't assume that's the case with every culture, but I am assuming that it is the case for China. And so, you know, characters overworking is just kind of a byproduct of what that culture is like, you know? And to be fair, like, it is common in the West, too, of, like, overworking, but especially overseas. Let's see. Man walks into a bar holding a piece of asphalt, and man says, "A beer, please." One for the road. Oh, that took me a minute. I read that earlier, and I was like, I think I get it. Now I definitely get it. I wish there was more of this. Wait, more of this in the game more often, Kaeya and Diluc, remember? I do miss Mondstadt. Although, I also still believe that there's stuff going on with Mondstadt that we'll be able to go back to it, dang it, later. Because there's still a lot of unanswered questions in Mondstadt, and areas that we have heard about in Mondstadt that have yet to release yet. So, I don't know, maybe it's copium, but I feel like we're gonna come back to Mondstadt, like, in the main story. Alright, Adeline. Time to cook.
Grilling the steak over fragrant cedarwood infuses it with more flavor than pan-frying it. It's a favorite of Master Kaeya's. Since using an open flame to grill indoors is somewhat inconvenient, we usually set up a grill outdoors. It's perfect for grilling meat, but you can also use it to make stews. I can offer you a satisfying salad, cold cut platter, and anything stewed. What would you prefer, traveler?
Sticky honey roast, cold cut platter, satisfying salad. What's your favorite cut of meat? Chicken. I don't know if that answers your question. Chicken. Definitely chicken. You know, cold cut platter. What's cold cut platter? Hold on. Google. Genshin cold cut platter. What does this look like? Oh, has a bunch of meat on it. It increases physical damage. Okay. You know, salad sounds amazing.
Right away.
Breast or legs? Oh, it's official dish. Gotcha. Chicken breast, definitely. Like, legs are really good and it's nice to chew, but I also just like it all being there, you know? Whereas, like, a leg, you kind of have to, like, twist and turn and get it.
Master Kaeya really likes stewed vegetables, but it takes the most time. So I'll start making that first and then prepare your meal once that's underway.
Stewed vegetables sound so good.
Of course!
You know Kaeya's
I
preference.
looked after him and Master Diluc when they were growing up.
I keep forgetting to read my dialogue. I'm sorry,
He wasn't
y'all.
always
I'm
such a
slacking today.
complicated character. He was a gentle child, polite and very sweet. Boys, huh? The gentle ones grow up to be wild, and the rambunctious ones become quiet and reserved. At least that's my experience. If there's anything you don't understand about Master Kaeya and his antics, please feel free to talk to me about it. His temperament has changed quite a lot over the years, but he still has a lot of the endearing qualities I remember.
I can't always tell if he's being truthful. I can't always tell what he's up to. Ooh! I want to know about being truthful.
Kaeya is much savvier and more mature than he used to be. Goodness knows he could be tricky to deal with. But let me share a few little tips.
Please!
When he answers your question with a question, stop and think carefully about what he wants you to believe, and don't be led on by him. As for not knowing what he's up to, that's because he loves making up a good cover story. But don't let him get to you too much. You can take it from me. You were drinking a cider lake just now, right?
Yep.
Do you know why it's called that? The name was coined by none other than Master Crepus when he mixed the drink for Master Kaeya himself.
Oh.
They were adorable when they were young. One time, the winery was hosting a banquet, and Master Crepus strictly forbade Master Diluc from drinking. Master Diluc wasn't happy about that, and he convinced Master Kaeya to team up with him and sneak into the wine cellar to steal some dandelion wine. And how did I find this out? Because when Master Kaeya attempted to distract me, I could clearly see Diluc hiding around the corner of the corridor, gesturing to Master Kaeya to direct him through the whole thing. The Captain Kaeya of today never bats an eye when he lies, but he wasn't like that at all when he was young. Ah, goodness, how did I get into this?
Aw. Ah! I love hearing childhood stories like this between them.
Anyway, they were discovered by Master Crepus in the end, and he was furious. He punished Master Kaeya by making him write lines, and Master Diluc was forced to clean the wine barrels in the cellar. The wine cellar had over a dozen large wine barrels to scrub, and Master Diluc was just a child. There was no way he could finish it all by himself. Master Crepus really meant to teach him a lesson. I'd originally planned to secretly finish off the work for him, but when I peeked inside the cellar, I found that Master Kaeya was already there. He and I finished scrubbing the remaining barrels when Master Crepus saw that the bruises on Master Kaeya's hands were even darker than those on Master Diluc's hands. He instantly understood the situation. Master Crepus wasn't stern by nature, so to comfort Master Kaeya, he mixed him a drink and added a few drops of alcohol just so he could have a little taste. So you see, Kaeya was a gentle child and never one to boast about the things he did for other people. Sometimes he'd even deny it if asked. His friends have a special place in his heart, even if he keeps this to himself.
Honestly, that still kind of tracks with him nowadays, because I just remembered of a scene, I think it was during Jean's story quest, where everyone was planning this party, and it turns out that Kaeya was like the one planning it, but we didn't find out until the end, and he kept it a secret. I still feel like he does that. Keeps it to himself.
Kaeya's quite a smooth talker these days, but I can tell that his habit of quietly helping others hasn't changed.
Exactly. I understand what you mean.
Ah, good. Okay, the stew is nearly ready, but the meat and the other dishes will need a moment. Please wait at the table. I'll be over shortly.
Yeah. Power of friendship! Friendship! Quentin, you said you like light meat. Yeah, I think I especially have to like it because I'm trying to watch what I eat, and light chicken meat tends to be a core part of my diet, so I'm just kind of used to it. My friends are my power. Kingdom Hearts is light!
Drinking fine wine, eating Adeline's steak. Ah, now this is what I call a vacation.
And I got to hear some stories about your childhood.
Oh? What has Adeline been telling you?
She said you were a very smart kid. She said you had a strong sense of justice.
So she told the good stories. Well, shucks. Now I'm embarrassed.
Food's ready. I hope you're hungry. I made a little extra, given how long it's been since you were last here.
Oh, we never imagined there would be such a magnificent feast. You've really outdone yourself. Why don't you sit and eat with us this time?
Yeah, let's eat together! More the merrier!
If you keep chatting away, the food will get cold. I'll wait here. Please call me if you need anything.
I'm afraid that just won't do, Adeline. I'm serious. We get together so rarely. Can't you bend the house rules just this once? After all, I don't live here anymore, so I'm just a regular guest. You aren't going to refuse your honored guest this small request, are you?
Since it's you, Master Kaeya, I see no choice but to honor your request. I know that us sharing a meal is a sign of our close relationship, but this is technically against the rules for a maid, so please forgive me for rebuffing you at first. I didn't mean to sound rude.
It's Kaya's fault.
Traveler, given how petty Master Kaeya can be, it must be hard for him to make friends. Does he have any friends in the Knights of Favonius?
Ooh. Yes, me. Yes, everyone is Kaya's friend. Let's go this route.
Looks like my efforts have paid off. See, Adeline?
Enjoy a home-cooked meal with Kaeya and Adelaide under a gentle breeze.
Hello, everyone. Pardon me, but is this Dawn Winery? I'm Guangzhe, a guard with the Secure Transport Agency under the Leo Communications Office. Here's my card.
No wonder Elzer felt so strongly about staying. He certainly wasn't kidding about how busy it is. Mr. Guangzhe, a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is all mine. The Secure Transport Agency has worked with your fine establishment in the past, though we have only corresponded through letters. I always found it a great pity that I, the overseer of our cooperation, have never had the occasion to visit in person.
Hold on, let me... Okay.
Why don't we go inside to discuss the details? No doubt the conversation will flow better with some of our wines to taste. Adeline, we'll continue our discussion later. Could you fetch some apple cider for the three of us?
Certainly, Master Kaeya. Please wait a moment.
Ooh. All right, guess we're entertaining a guest. I think this is my favorite ending. It's very sweet so far. I thought we were near the end until that guy popped up. I like pork the most, but not bacon. Bacon's so touchy on how it's made. Bacon seems like it'd be very complicated. I do love a good bacon, though. Pork is also very good.
And how might I address you, sir, as well as your...
Just Kaeya is fine. I'm standing in today for Elzer, who usually manages the winery's business. And this is my good friend.
I have place.
A pleasure to meet you as well. I'm not just here today to pay a visit. I actually have an invitation for Master D-Luke to cut the ribbon at a ceremony to celebrate our agency's business.
Dang.
Our collaboration with Dawn Winery last year was quite successful, and I was curious about your product shipment plans for the next quarter. If it's no trouble, please, also mention to Master D-Luke that our agency has expanded this year, so if the winery has any additional needs, please consider us.
Master Kaeya, the apple cider you requested.
Master? Wait. Pardon my foolishness, but might I inquire as to your relation to Dawn Winery?
I'm Master Krepus's adopted son, and Master D-Luke's brother. However, as a serving captain with the Knights of Favonius, I am rarely at the winery.
My mistake. I apologize for not realizing earlier. I do hope I have not done you a discourtesy.
Ah, dude, you're good.
You may have misunderstood, Mr. Guangzhe. Though I am Master D-Luke's brother, I don't actually live at Dawn Winery. I'm also a guest here today. I'm merely here receiving guests due to Elzer being temporarily indisposed. But please, don't worry. I will be sure to extend your invitation to Master D-Luke.
Thank you for your graciousness. I knew the Dawn Winery's wines were delicious, but I am only now discovering how wonderful the apple cider is. It has a clear and inviting fragrance.
In addition to the apple cider, the winery has an extensive collection of reserve wines and liquors. I see you are also a connoisseur of fine wines, so it would be a shame not to sample some. Adeland, please fetch a bottle from the reserve collection in the second floor wine locker.
As you wish, Master.
Maybe you enjoy apple cider and an exquisite bottle of reserve.
Thank you again for your most gracious hospitality. Today's trip was very fruitful. Now, allow your humble servant to take his leave.
Please, it was a pleasure. Here's hoping we'll have a chance to share some more fine wines together in the future.
The guest has left, Master Kaeya.
In the end, you could have protected the reserve.
It's no skin off my nose. Master Diluc may have a few choice words when he learns of the situation, but that's all. All I really wanted to say is, you will always be a part of the Dawn Winery family, Master Kaeya. I have never considered you an outsider. No matter when, if you ever feel tired, you'll always be welcome here.
I understand, Adeland. Oh, now this is a busy day. Who's at the door this time?
Hello, everyone. I'm back.
Did you go to the doctor?
Now that was fast. How are you feeling?
The doctor said there was nothing to worry about. I just need some rest. But on the way back, I met someone who was looking for Master Kaeya.
I didn't know Clee made an appearance!
Kaeya! Shh! Klee's here to rescue you. Come on, let's escape.
What are you rescuing Kaeya from?
Miss Honorary Knight! Are you grounded with Kaeya too?
Grounded? Haha, yes. Albedo was saying something about that. Sumeru was fun, but it can't compare with Mondstadt. So here we are.
You two must have done something to make Jean mad, but that's okay. Kaeya has rescued Klee loads of times before, so when Albedo told me you came back, I went and said sorry to Jean. Kaeya, you're free now! We can go play together again!
Oh, if my memory serves me correctly, this child is...
This is a fully qualified Knight of Favonius. Klee.
Oh,
She's so cute! Hello, miss! I'm Klee. Ah! We're sorry. Please don't ground Kaeya.
oh, her animations are so cute! My daughter! That's how I feel every time I see Clee. My daughter! My precious bean!
What?
I really need to take Kaeya and Miss Honorary Knight away so we can go find Albedo, Sucrose, Amber, and everyone else and play together.
I see. Hello, Miss Klee. You needn't worry. Master Kaeya's grounding is long over.
See, Adeland, you don't need to worry about me. I have lots of people to care for me now.
Oh, that's so cute! Follow the sun in flight, flee with all your might. That's such a cute picture. Oh my gosh. What a precious little pyromaniac. Very much so. Flair earlier said, I get so much hate for saying how much I hate bacon. That's fair. I like bacon, but I used to not like bacon, to be honest. Guanzhou sounds like milk toast? Is that a reference to a content creator or just his tone? Because it was a very, like, soothing voice. I should finish all my hangouts, too. They're actually really good. I feel like they get ignored often, but they're very well done. And they're fun to go through, for me. It's a great way to get to know 4 stars, and you get cute little pictures out of it, too. All right, one more ending for Kaeya, and we have to go back here. Mondstadt, become human, my favorite. Exactly. Exactly. His tone sounded fake. That's fair. I think the VA might have... I don't want to assume, you know? I don't want to assume. But it did have very much the same tone. That's my favorite ending for Kaeya. That's such a cute ending, too. I get to be in Sumeru, though! Yay! I only finished Noel's. I forget they exist. Exactly! Right? Like, I feel like they often get forgotten, and that's fair because it's not really like, you know, there's not like intense cutscenes like you get character stories and whatnot, but they're fun in their own right, and in some ways they help like. I'm losing the words I'm trying to find. Expand like the lore of the world itself. It's a good. It's really fun. Man, words are really bad right now, guys. I'm so sorry. Or what he said for me. Gotcha. Yeah. Ground the characters. Yes, it grounds the characters and it adds more to the world itself. Makes it feel more alive. I love learning and hanging out characters that don't get so much screen time. Is it good? It's good. But again, like, it often gets ignored because it's never really, like, high intense action like all the other quests, you know? It's just kind of there in the background. Like, but I really do enjoy these. I will admit, now that I've gone through so many of these, the beginning ones are harder to get through. The beginning ones are harder to get through, but they've gotten a lot better, that they're more and more enjoyable, personally. Okay. Where was this? Right, we ran into Kaeya.
Gundafar, we are in the middle of a war. Your place is at the front lines by my son's side.
Oh!
Pray tell, what provokes your unwarranted return to the palace?
I think we had a choice whether to do something with this. Maybe that's where the other ending is, because I don't think we did.
A matter of utmost importance, Your Majesty, such that I must personally report it to you.
Huh. Outdoor theater. Looks fun.
Do you want to stop and see the show?
Actually, yes. I saw some guards do a musical performance when I was traveling with their caravan in Sumeru. They were desert dwellers. So are these actors. And I think I actually recognize one of them.
You do?
Come on, let's go watch.
Okay. I love that song. Hi, Elfina. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're still in the middle of Kaeya's hangouts. We're catching up. We have almost done all of them, except this is the last one, and then we're gonna move on to Lynette's. I love Sumeru music, dude.
Your Majesty, not only has God bestowed the throne upon you, but your beloved son, Prince Kubad, has led our brave warriors to victory against Frasyav's army. His men have laid down their arms and fled. Frasyav's brazen ambition is no more. He has bowed his head and now presents to your Majesty an offering of treasures and hostages, as well as a plea for peace. My king, this battle has finally restored the dignity of our people. Moreover, with Frasyav's offer of land comes the opportunity to expand our borders, as your Majesty so greatly wishes. His Highness the Prince and I believe this peace settlement will be a great boon to our nation. It is for this reason alone that I have removed my armor and made haste back to our halls from the front lines. My king, what say you to this proposal?
Ah, it's the tale of Prince Kubad. Ever heard this one?
Nope, never. Feels like we missed a lot of the backstory.
Don't
Never.
worry, I still remember the general plot. Let me fill you in on the background while the king deliberates. The main characters are the brilliant Prince Kubad and his war-hungry father, King Kabus. The one talking to the king right now is Gundafar, the prince's tutor. When the prince was young, the king was deceived by a malicious rumor that the prince had mistreated his stepmother. He demanded that the prince walk through a blazing fire to prove his innocence. Miraculously, the prince emerged unscathed, thus proving his innocence. But the seeds of doubt had already been sown in the king's mind. Now uneasy in the presence of his mistrustful father, the prince requested to be sent away to the battlefield where he would fight against Frasyav's army. That's the enemy general we heard them mention just now. This is the part where the prince has won the war and decided to forge a peace with the rival nation. He wrote a letter recommending peace to his father. Oh, it looks like the king's made up his mind. Let's keep watching.
Frosiyov lost because he did not have the blessing of God. Our God will always watch over us and punish our enemies. Once the bells of war have begun to toll, they shall not cease until the blood of our enemies fills the land. There can be no victory until the last enemy soldier has fallen. If Kubad still wishes to be my son and hold the intaglio I bestowed upon him as proof of his royal blood, then he must obey my command.
Your Majesty, I must caution that a nation destroyed is not a fallen city writ large. Now, the loss of one city strikes fear into the hearts of our enemies, compelling them to accept defeat and cede land in exchange for peace. If, however, we insist on bringing a whole nation to its knees, then so long as a single person is left standing, they will see us as their sworn enemy, and one day return to us tenfold the pain that we have inflicted on their nation and family. My king, a people is to their nation as wild grass to the open prairie. Though we burn down the whole field and spare not one blade of grass, roots continue to grow unseen beneath the surface. Come the spring, it is all but inevitable that fresh green shoots will rise up from the ashes.
Cease, Gundafar. Your mind grows dull in your old age, filled with naive delusions. We shall have no more need of you on the battlefield. As for my son Kubad, I will summon him back to the capital, so he may be tried by a court-martial.
What are you saying, my noble king? Why must you mistrust your own flesh and blood and sink ever deeper into the blight of hatred? When he was falsely accused, you once doubted his honor and made him walk through a raging fire. Did he not prove himself worthy by emerging unharmed from the flames? Now you would turn me away when I seek only to provide the wisdom of counsel. What is the justification for this?
The justification is that my word, not yours, is the law of the land. Cease and be gone, Gundafar, so you may spend the rest of your days with your wife.
What has become of the king that I served with my life? Fanaticism has robbed him of all reason and wisdom. Peace is surely the most favorable path for our nation, yet he refuses to accept it.
I must think of a way to seize control of the army back from the hands of my wayward son, that they might continue the fight to the end. Perhaps the first task should be this. I shall send a loyal contingent of warriors to eliminate Frosiyov and the hostages he has sent to our palace.
Brilliant acting, Darbil.
I saw you approaching us in the middle of the scene. I was worried that my performance would be subpar and you'd think I was just making a fool of myself.
Ooh!
Not at all. Far from it. Actually, let me introduce you. This is Darbil, the actor for King Caboose. When we first got to know each other, he was still a guard for one of the merchant caravans.
Oh!
Seems like he's now made the switch to full-time acting.
Oh, okay. Alright, this feels like a Prince of Persia storyline. It kinda does! Man, I haven't thought about Prince of Persia in forever. Hello!
Nice to meet you. Any friend of Kaeya's is a friend of mine.
Nice to meet you too! Don't mind me! Just vibing!
To be perfectly honest, I wasn't making all that much as a mercenary. It felt right to me to get away from the danger and live a more stable life.
What a banger.
I was already pretty good at telling stories, so I just recruited a few friends and started performing shows all over the country. Full disclosure, we had to put this little stage together using whatever wood and cloth we could borrow. It's really low budget. Anyway, we're all good enough at acting to get through the motions, but none of us are any good at coming up with a script. Everything we tried to write just sounded off somehow. So I got a student from the academia to adapt an old story I knew to make it more appealing to our audience. What do you think? Passable?
I could tell that you've had someone tighten up the lines. They turned out very nicely.
That's good. Well, as you can see, even now, we still don't have much of an audience. Don't suppose you'd be interested to see the rest of the show?
Sure, why not? I don't have anything pressing lined up. And I don't think the Traveler does either.
Lynette's story quest is on the docket, so hopefully it won't take too long, but
Tickets
yes!
for two, please. How much would that be?
There's no need for tickets. You could just get some food from Jafar Tavern. We've worked out an arrangement with them. We've actually found a sponsor for this performance, too. He's not too happy about the poor turnout, though. I doubt we'll be able to keep him for the next performance. A real pity. But what can you do, huh?
Darbil Asgar still hasn't shown up for the next scene. We should get his costume and sword out so they'll be ready to go the moment he gets here.
My apologies. I have to get ready for the upcoming scene. I'll see you from the stage.
Bye. The sleepy day, lots of rain. Dude, it really is a sleepy day. I've been tired all day today. Okay, we gotta order food. I want to talk to these guys, though. Someone called Neela. I'm sure she'll invest. Hopefully. Wonder if she's
God only
busy.
knows. It's not the first time he's done this, either.
Oh, this guy's been late before then. Ooh, drama.
Where in the Seven Nations is that little twerp? The next scene is about to begin.
Ooh, drama. Drama. Time to get food.
Would you two like to order some food? What can I get you? If you're looking for recommendations, today's special is the tandoori roast chicken.
Bear with us a moment. We're just going to take a look at the menu.
How'd you become friends with Darbil?
I was at Port Ormos discussing some business opportunities, and some crook was trying to pull a fast one on me. Darbil took pity on me and politely asked him to make himself scarce. He's a good guy. A decent storyteller, too. Quite an interesting character. There's a lot of fun to be had if you hang around interesting people doing interesting things. Especially if you're in the company of an interesting friend.
This line just feels like foreshadowing for some reason.
That's my secret formula for staying in a good mood.
Okay.
Try it out sometime. You'll see what I mean. Thanks for waiting. We're ready to order now. We'll take you up on that tandoori roast chicken. And let's throw in some desserts, too. One each of the rose custard, that talumba, and the patisara pudding, please. That should see us through the show.
Thinking about it, Nahida has the scholarship program. I hope that well, maybe she's working on like initializing it because she kind of had to take the reins for the previous guy, and he definitely didn't like the arts.
We've got good seats, close to the stage, but also not too crowded. We can watch the show as we eat. If I remember correctly, the next scene should focus on the prince. But I won't spoil it for you. You have to experience it for yourself.
Sounds like the story has made quite an impression on you.
You could say that. It's always stayed with me because it's hammered home a cruel but realistic truth. People do not choose where and when to be born. Yet the circumstances of their birth define the choices that they will have for the rest of their life.
Ooh, I can see why you like that, Kaeya.
Here you are.
Ow!
The check's on the table, too. Just call me over when you're ready to settle up.
No need. I'll pay up front. Here. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir. Oh, but this is too generous.
Call it a token of my gratitude for the excellent service. The food all smells wonderful, too. So please pass my compliments to the chef.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let's dig in, traveler.
Joy face. How can he see he's back to the stage? If he knows the
Kaeya.
play by heart, he's fine.
I'm so sorry. But the actor who plays the prince has run into some difficulties and won't be able to make it.
Uh-oh.
Can't do the rest of the show without him, so I'm really, really sorry, but we'll have to call the show right here.
Oh, that sucks. And I don't know if they could have afforded an understudy. I bet we won't see the end. Can Kaeya fill in for him? Does he know?
Ooh, that would be fun. I wouldn't say no.
I was kidding. Is that what that's what the joke?
Darbil, would you lose any income if I were to mess this up?
Not really. I mean, there's not much of an audience here anyway. I wouldn't want to take too much of your time, though.
Don't worry about that. I like to be spontaneous now and then. Spice things up a little.
Well then, okay.
Let me think. Well, you already know the story, so you just need to memorize a few lines. Huh, you know what? This might actually work. Wait, but Kuban has a specific costume he's supposed to wear, and there's no way you'd fit into it. Switching actors is one thing, but wearing street clothes on stage would really ruin the immersion. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
Well, good thing that I've actually got a costume with me. It goes pretty well with your stage, too.
You're kidding. Can you show it to me?
Sure. If you can show me the way to your changing room.
It's in the restaurant. Follow me.
I love his costume. A moment later. Yes! 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 Gosh, it's so pretty! I need to build Kaeya better. Anytime I see this outfit, like...
I think I actually look pretty dapper in this. It's a pity I don't have many opportunities to wear it in public.
So good. This came out right before Fontaine. True, it did. You... Such a show-off. But you do look pretty good.
Uh-oh. Not a fan of me as a prince? I'll have to act my heart out so you'll be too dazzled to make any digs.
Kaeya, here's your script for the next scene. It's not too long, but you also don't have very long to prepare. Do you think you can memorize your lines in time?
Only one way to find out.
Kaeya, the actors briefly rehearsed the scene.
Okay, I think we've covered all your lines and movements on stage. You haven't had long to prepare, so don't worry about forgetting your lines. We'll remind you.
All right. I'm good to go.
Great.
Don't call me out!
Let's get this show on the road.
Don't call me out! Halloween where Witch Clee comes back? That'd be cute. I love Clee's outfit. Indeed! Don't come here! I say jokingly.
General Kubad, son of Kabus, the fate of this battle is clear.
Harbinger of Dawn. Nice touch.
I beg you, please spare my few remaining men. They no longer have the strength to fight back.
Frosyav, though you now lead only the husk of a once mighty army, I have no desire to crush your dignity. Even your most savage warriors have no desire to see further bloodshed, and none among your ranks have opposed these peace talks. Nevertheless, I must hear it from you one final time. General Frosyav, do you agree to sign a treaty in good faith and commit from this day forth to peace between our nations?
With my army in ruins, I am in no position to do otherwise. But on this, I give you my word. Yes, let us end our hostilities and send our surviving men home to their families.
We share the desire to lay down our arms for good and liberate our hearts from the dirge of hatred.
I'm watching him move. He moves like a Kingdom Hearts character. And I love it.
Then as God above is our witness, by the authority vested in me by this intaglio of King Kabus, I hereby declare that I will spare your hostages and what remains of your army. May peace be restored to this land, and may these fields of war become a place where crops grow aplenty. My tutor, Gundafar, has already made haste to my father, the king, with the recommendation of a truce. It is my sincere hope that he will see that peace as a path to prosperity and grant me his blessing.
Prince Kubad, your name is renowned throughout your land and ours. I will place my hope in your words.
One will find on a battlefield no master of ceremonies, nor the paper on which a treaty may be signed. In their absence, let us raise our weapons and swear an oath. I, Kubad, son of Kabus, hereby pledge protection to you and all of your kin. May the oceans be stained red with my blood if I am ever to renounce this oath.
Wow, your friend is so dreamy. He's not a real prince by any chance, is he?
Sorry, wow, he's so dreamy, guys. Oh my gosh. That took me. Just a sweet, wholesome acting moment, and wow, your friend is so dreamy. All about that. Ain't no way.
Indeed!
Indeed! Oh, so good.
Hey, Rashana.
Indeed!
You don't want to miss this. The good-looking guy who left that huge tip is acting on stage with Darble's troupe.
Darville's one lucky man.
I return, Your Highness. I hope I'm not too late. Have you already promised peace to Frasyov?
Nay, I am not so rash as to preempt my father's blessing. I promised only what I could so far, the safety of his kin.
My child, I must share with you the gravest news. Kabus has become blinded by fanaticism and hatred, and will stop at nothing to vanquish every last man under Frasyov's lead.
How can this be? You mean to say that my father has rejected our proposal for peace?
He has indeed. I urged him to reconsider, and for this I was rebuked and dismissed from his service. But far stricter punishment than this awaits you, should you return home with your troops. Please heed my warnings, dear child. I dare not imagine what unspeakable atrocities your father intends to commit.
Nay, the truce must stand. I cannot renounce my oath. How can man claim to stand above beast without remaining true to his word? The masses have grown weary of death and conflict in both our nation and theirs. Are we all now to bend to his will and massacre countless more to satisfy a desire that is his alone? When I departed my beloved home to fight in a foreign land, I did so to honor his wishes and for my duty to our people. Alas, is this fate's grand design?
Kaeya, the next line is, alas, is this fate's grand design, that I should spend the rest of my days in a foreign land, till I am laid to rest in a grave far from home?
Oh, I think I accidentally skipped where Kaeya was struggling. My bad.
Must it be so?
Huh? Wait, that's not part of the script. Kaeya, did you not hear me?
My dear audience, I ask you this. Do you believe in fate? If fate decreed that your life was to end in tragedy, what would you do?
Oh. Why did you just throw a prop to me? Seems like improv with audience. Gee, I gotta play I would bravely face my fate. I would challenge my fate and rise above it.
Oh? Then so must it be. Yes, so must it be. I shall discard this intaglio and rid myself of the shackles of fate.
Wait, but that's not... My dear prince, do you intend to betray your father and abandon your heritage?
Fate means to send the machinations of war to every corner of the land, to fan the flames of conflict till they engulf the entire world. Fate would see my sword tainted with the blood of innocence, that the bright banner of my homeland might fly in every nation known to mankind. But I shall not bow to the will of fate. I am no pawn in heaven's plan.
Oh, that's delicious. Oh, that's delicious. Story kind of struck a nerve with him. Possibly.
Bravo! Where did this guy come from? Is he one of the new hires?
Also, thanks for the hydrate. Hold on. Ooh, I read your message earlier, Quentin. Oh, straighten! Sorry, we're gonna pause this fun moment. We're gonna pause this fun moment. It's time to straighten, y'all. Time to straighten. Stretch, everybody. Cool. Thought you could use that. Thank you.
Hey, shut up. Stop interrupting.
People watching me play the story and I pause the dialogue to talk. Stop it! Also, I've definitely done this before, where someone's talking and I'm like, shush, I'm watching!
I, Kubad, will spend the rest of my days in a foreign land, till I breathe my last in a place far from home.
Ooh.
Oh, at least he brought it back in the end.
Prince Kubad, my child, there is no need to be rash. Please bring at least your fortune and the retainers who will always be loyal to you.
Gundafar, my dear mentor, you have always been like a father to me. It brings me only anguish to bid you farewell. But I must walk this path, or freedom dies by my hand. Goodbye, my tribe and kin. Farewell, sweet land of my birth.
Goodbye, my child.
Nice. Take a reward. Rigby? Who's Rigby? Remind me who Rigby is. Oh! Oh, she's trying! Oh, she's trying! She's shooting her shot! Good luck, girl!
The show's pretty good. Are you guys professional?
I wonder if I should go strike up a conversation with him.
Shoot your shot! Go for it, dude!
It's Prince Kubad. Could I please get your autograph?
Why, certainly, ma'am.
Ooh, thank you. I'll just go find a pen.
Just made things awkward? What? I don't see it how it's awkward. I just was asking you a question. It's okay. Good show, Kaeya. I want an autograph too. Good show, Kaeya.
Feeling more like a fan now?
Shut up.
Acting is quite fun. If there ever came a day when I left the Knights of Favonius, I think I might go into acting full-time.
Darbil, could you introduce me to this young man?
My apologies, Master Toos. I somehow missed you in the crowd earlier.
I was some distance away. I just came over near the end after I noticed the large crowd gathered around the stage. The performance was outstanding across the board. I knew that the poor turnout over the past few days was just bad luck. It was only ever a matter of time before you hit it big. The improvised section was particularly good. I think you could include some improvisation as a staple in future performances. As for the prop he threw, no need to get it back. It's fairly cheap anyway.
Thank you, sir. And a big thanks also to our wonderful prince. Had Kaeya not agreed to fill in, we might have disbanded right on the spot.
Kaeya, was it? Well, young man, I must say you've made quite the impression on me. My caravan is always loaded with the finest food and wines. You're welcome to visit at any time.
Thank you for the invite, sir. But I'm afraid I've reached the end of my time at Sumeru. I'm sure that my friends and family in Mondstadt must be missing me terribly.
Well then, consider it an open invitation. Once you've been bitten by the travel bug, my friend, you'll be getting itchy feet again before too long. My door is always open. If you're ever interested, please ask Darbil to reach out to me. Darbil, we can continue discussions on the sponsorship once you've wrapped up today's show. I'm going back to the inn.
Thank you so much, Master Toos. I'll see you shortly. Seriously, Kaeya, thank you for bailing me out again. You're a good guy. May the gods bless you. You know, you should stay for a few more days. I owe you a meal at the very least.
Darbil, Asgar is back. He lost track of time playing Genius Invocation TCG. You've got to sort him out.
He was playing Yu-Gi-Oh for too long.
Genius Invocation again? Ah, that does it. That kid's not getting away with it this time. Please excuse me, Kaeya. I will be right back.
Sure, there's no rush. Okay, I think they're all gone. Let's slip away now while we can.
Oh, okay. We running? I guess we running.
The show's pretty good.
Sino would be proud. Dude, that guy was fighting Sino. Okay, I guess we're sliding. Woo! We gotta slip and slide away. All sneakily like, weep. Sweep, sweep, sweep.
All right, this should be far enough. Don't think they'll find me here.
Didn't want to stay for free meals sometime?
People were starting to expect a lot of things that I didn't sign up for. Besides, the missing actor is back now. Darbil shouldn't be needing me to stand in again. I don't mind socializing, but compared to chatting over food and drink, I much prefer just going wild on the stage. What about you? Did you enjoy the show?
I thought your performance was intriguing. I wasn't expecting that improv section. I mean, yeah. Mostly, I was curious to know what was going through your mind on stage. He's not going to tell us anything.
Oh? I was expecting a lengthier critique, but you've thrown the question right back at me. Sneaky. All right, I'll rise to your challenge.
Oh wait, Rigby's from regular show. Oh! remember now. Okay. I haven't watched regular show, but I know of the character. That makes sense. All right. Give me lore.
Let me think. All the world's a stage, and all the people merely players. Does that answer your question?
Yes and no.
Perhaps there's an inept god out there deciding everyone's fates, much like the academia student drafting Darbill's scripts. Yeah, inept is a good word for it. Honestly, it might even be a little too civil to describe a god who turns fathers against their sons and is bent on endless warmongering, don't you think? Anyway, that's exactly why actors need to wake up and realize they don't have to follow the script. There's nothing to stop them from following their gut and making it up as they go along.
Does this inept god really exist? Do you really believe that?
Oh, my dear traveler, please don't take me too literally. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The god is just a figure of speech. The real point I'm making is about the actors. Everyone, you and I included, is both an actor and a member of the audience.
I like what you said. Sure. Sure.
If you don't like the script, just walk off the stage and join the audience. You always have a choice.
If you don't like the script, just walk off stage and join the audience. You always have a choice. I'm not sure I fully understand.
A little too obtuse? Well, don't dwell on it. It's nothing worth losing sleep over. I was just thinking aloud.
You're fascinating, buddy.
Relax. Be yourself. Do your thing. That's all I'm really trying to say. When I did my little bit of audience interaction back there, you had no time to prepare. You had to just say what you thought in the moment. I think those spontaneous thoughts are often the most authentic. And that's why I liked your answer. You're still holding on to the intaglio I threw you from the stage, right? Keep it. Think of it as a souvenir from my improvised performance. It's been the most fascinating day, hasn't it, little birdie?
Ah! Cute! We did it! We finally finished Kaeya's Hangout. There it is. There it all is. Dang. He's more a sinner than a god anyway. Either way. I want to go on break in 10 minutes, so I guess we'll just move on with Lynette's. We'll get started on Lynette's. Man, that was so fun. I love these hangouts. Kaeya and Kave's especially have been fun. Farazan's were super fun. I think I'm gonna get started on Lynette, and then we're gonna take a break. I want to go take a break in like 10 minutes. So I know this is probably like an ideal stopping point, but I want to see what path we're getting on first. You know? Begin Hangout. Gotta bounce? No worries, Pat. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Go to the area del Hotel de Bord. Alrighty, wee. As a reminder, if you don't want to see Lynette's Hangout, feel free to step away. Oh, Fairtear, hi. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. For D&D. Oh, you gotta leave too, Quentin? Are you going to D&D? If I'm understanding that right. Good luck. Hope it goes well. Feeling full of beads. Oh, I'm feeling full of beads. I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling tired, but I'm feeling it. Thanks, Pat. Have a good one. There's Lynette. We cats. Halftime. Is that Lynette with the little kitty?
Meow.
What are you up to? Approach stealthily. Can I even?
Phew. 1 second. Now activating chat mode. You made me jump there. I thought they'd finally caught me.
Made you jump. I didn't notice. Is someone out to kidnap you? Define been lurking? No worries. I'm sorry for calling you out. Anytime I see a new chat person, I have to call him out. But thank you so much for the lurk. Enjoy your lurking. Is someone out to kidnap you?
Objectively speaking, the trouble was entirely of my own making.
Also, well, I guess they'll never talk about it. I was wondering, like, if Liddy had cat ears too. A secret cat tail, but maybe not. Whee!
Half an hour ago, I was at Hotel de Boer for a drinks reception. It was to celebrate the successful opening of a show, but it was draining my energy. So, I waited for the right moment, then snuck away so I could switch to standby mode.
I see. So they sent someone to find you to bring you back. But why?
Probably because I'm playing the lead role in the show.
The lead role?
Is that so surprising? I'm always getting invitations to do solo performances. I just usually get Linny to write back and turn them down. But then came the Fontanalia Film Festival. We took all the kids from the House of the Hearth out to see a film. And after it finished, they all started clamoring for me to try out acting for some reason. Even Linny was chanting along with them. Anyway, it just so happened that a director called Mariu had sent me an invitation right around then. I'll spare you the details, but basically, I ended up accepting it.
So this is the dramatic debut of the magician's puppet, huh?
Yep, you nailed it. I'm playing the role of a puppet.
Oh, the thumbs up! That's so cute.
In fact, the show's called The Lost Puppet, and it's a masked mime show. So I don't have to do any facial expressions or say any lines. Literally just a series of physical movements. The director says it's a very avant-garde art form.
Ow. You know, I've seen performances like this. That does sound pretty avant-garde, but can people understand the plot?
Art is not comprehended by the mind, but felt in the heart. At least, that's what the director says. Anyway, if nothing else, the opening performance seemed to go down well.
Oh, good.
At the drinks reception, everyone was crowding around me, saying, "Triumphant character portrayal, faithful adaptation of the original work, unequivocally, quintessentially avant-garde," and stuff like that. But being the center of attention is draining. So the moment they left me to go harass the director instead, I was out of there.
Dude, I'm so excited for her. She's like, I think the Harbinger I'm the most excited about. Also, you guys were saying that he has actual ears. That's true. But I just worry how wonder how genetics work in this world. This weird world, you know? Well, how do genetics work in this weird world? It's both ways, don't you say? Both ways. Anyway, for once you won't have to use one answer on your show.
The other thing is, some weird things happened while I was on the stage.
What?
Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation. My bad.
I take it Bonnie's your pet cat?
No, we just met. We bumped into each other right after I slipped away.
And you've already named her?
Well, it'd be kind of difficult for us to communicate otherwise. Besides, I think she's taken a liking to the name. Haven't you, Bonnie? Yeah, that's right. Good kitty. We'll go find your owner soon, I promise.
Owner? Not a stray cat, then?
Nope. She's wearing a collar, and for the most part, she's pretty well groomed. If she is a stray, she hasn't been for long. Her stomach's been growling a lot. I guess she must have been missing for a few days now. As much as I'd love to hang out with her for a while longer, her owner's probably worried sick about her. Assuming she has an owner, that is. But the reception... I should probably show my face there again at some point, even if it's just to make excuses and leave again. Decision time.
Is this a tough decision for you?
Well, I just find it exhausting, thinking through all the different ramifications of different choices and so on. That's more Lenny's area than mine. So, unless it's something really important,
I usually just leave the decision-making to him.
But for once, he's not here when you need him. Bet that doesn't happen often.
It's fine. He got Fremine to make me a little something for just this situation. Poof! A phaetometer.
What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? What is this?
It looks pretty over the top, I know. But it's essentially just a box of cards. He kept the design simple, so it'd be harder to break. The way it works is, I pick a card at random, then look at the number on the card.
And how does that help you make a decision?
Well, for example, if the number on the card is 5 or higher, I help Bonnie find her owner. If it's less than 5, I go back to the reception.
Simple and straightforward.
I just have to believe in the bond between me and my cards, and my fate will reveal itself to me in numerical form. At least, that's what Linny said. Anyway, I guess I'll give you a demonstration.
Lynette attempts to draw a card. A device makes a horrendous grinding sound.
Like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just...
Lynette smacks the card box. All the cards fall into ground. Then she picks one at random. Oh, it's smoking.
Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know.
I feel like maybe this wasn't a design issue.
Let's see. Which card did I get? 4.
Less than 5, so that means no helping Bonnie.
Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Linny said. So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer.
I think what Linny really meant is sometimes you have to accept the answer you didn't want.
Or why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means our fates are, like, interfering with each other.
All right, I'll pick another card for you. Actually, now that I think about it, my Catify fits her very well. We are basically identical.
Thank you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the phaetometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. Anything lower than 5 is a fail.
Surprise, you're the one going to D&D. Oh, snap!
Also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
Ooh. You should go back to the reception, Bunny. Fateometer. You know what? Well, it's a new thing. It's a new mechanic. I was gonna say we should help Bonnie, but I want to see.
All right. Then let's see where fate will lead me.
The random checks triggered by the Fateometers often serve as indicators for Destiny's course or the success or failure of an action. Press to draw a card and get a random between 1 through 20. If the number displayed is greater than or equal to check difficulty, you'll pass this check. Otherwise, you'll fail it. Random checks triggered by the Fateometer often serve as indicators for Destiny's course or the success or failure of an action. Press to draw a card, random number between 1 through 20. If the number displayed is greater than or equal to check difficulty, pass. Oh, I see. Okay. Adequate preparation and friendly aid can sometimes affect the result of these checks. Your current check bonuses will be added to your randomly drawn number, making it easier to pass checks. Dang, this does feel like D&D. Draw a card! Ooh. Let's pick this one. Barely.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner?
I have to ask about this deck of cards.
There's 20 cards in total, numbered 1 to 20. So there's only a 1 in 5 chance of drawing less than a 5. I should also mention, this time the cutoff was 5, but I just set that to wherever I feel like.
Wow, you really don't want to go back to that reception party.
To put it in perspective, I said I'd only do the show if I drew a 1. Fate can be pretty sneaky sometimes.
So, how do you plan to find Bonnie's owner?
I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You want to come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
Sure, if it means I get to hang out with you for a bit longer. Ooh. Slick. All right, we have our destination decided. We are going to find out who is Bonnie's owner. Oh, snap! That just automatically leads to an ending? Ending hints. The situation seems to have changed. Ooh! That's fascinating. Wonder what that leads to. Either way, all right. I got my wish. We did 10 more minutes. We are now on a course in one of Lynette's endings. So we're going to take a quick break. This is a good time for you guys to stretch your legs, get some water, do anything else you got to do. Because I am going to be running some ads. You gained a gadget. Ooh! I'll have to look at it later. But yeah, I'm going to run some ads. So if you need to step away for whatever reason, this is a good time to do so. I might have to do this just to get that gadget. Ooh! Yeah! Get that gadget. It will roll a d20. Okay, now I have to check it out. And then break time. First, for real, for real. For real, for real. 3! Alright, cool. Well. Let me get back into there. That's fun. That's so fun. Alright. Yeah, so, gonna take a break. Stretch your legs, guys. Stretching's important. Alright? And then photo. Dang, I wish I could get more intense looks. Either way, BRB guys. I hope you guys had a good break. Hope you were able to do the things you needed to do. All the stuff as I'm adjusting in my seat. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. I keep adjusting my mic, and it makes me sad that you guys can hear when I adjust it, but I'm just trying to get into a good spot, you know? Alrighty. Welcome back. Thank you. Let's head back in, shall we? I need to turn on game music and whee! Alright. Oh, Lynette has 5 endings. We'll do what we can. We'll see what we can do. We're gonna try to get as much done as we can today. Oh, and before I forget, let's get that up. Alright. Goodbye! Well, I'll try 3 more times to see if I get 1 or 20. Luck is not on my side, it looks like. 13. Last try. 2! Gosh! That's like my actual D&D rolls, where it's like, it feels like it's always bad, and then every now and then it's like pretty dang good. And then we get those random sessions where it's insanely good.
Swan Fury.
And then I go back to being bad. My luck is chaotic.
Quit following me.
Every stupendous day starts with a steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with?
We want to ask about the latest call-up to SMB. Any commissions in there about a missing cat? Well, Lynette needs to early, but it took me 5 times to get. Gotcha.
I don't think so. Have you picked up a stray?
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Filling out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now. If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you.
Looking forward to it.
All right. See you then.
Alright, time to wait until the next morning, it seems. Here we go. Whee! Perfect timing, too. Let me get some water really quick. Hello?
You should be fine.
Behold! Lynette! Did I see? Oh. Huh.
I believe this cat belongs to me.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
What's going on?
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you. At least for now.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Passive checks are a special type of checks that need not be actively triggered, but instead will automatically trigger at specific times. Passive perception check? Huh. Felt really stressed out because of the rolls. I bet. If you pass, you will find some hidden information, such as irregularities in a person's attitude or certain incongruous details. Huh. Seems a bit unnatural. I mean, she had a weird pause there, too. The way she speaks is loud and authoritative, but it's like she's deliberately using her tone and voice to dispel any doubts about her integrity. I gotta go. Thank you so much for stopping by, Flair. Have a good one.
No. It's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society.
You also... seems a bit unnatural. Hesitation in his voice. Seems like he could be hiding something. His gaze keeps drifting off to the side. It's like he's trying not to draw attention to himself. How about we let Bonnie decide?
Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Animal handling! Oh my gosh, Quentin! You were right! When you were like D&D time, I was like, what the frick? Huh. But it makes so much more sense now. It literally is D&D. Yep, here we go. I have to get an 8. This one. Bonnie instantly rose to high by Lynette, poking her head out ever so slightly.
This complicates things.
I didn't think she'd be so attached to you. There's no way to tell who her owner is. I didn't think she'd be so attached to you.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's normal for her not to trust me.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. You can hardly expect the cat to recognize me.
And how are you so sure she belongs to you?
She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case.
Why do these people want this cat?
If she turns out to be one of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in. If no one else comes to claim her, that is.
What's the Humane Society?
We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
Do you have to have a license to work in a Humane Society? And if so, can I see your credentials?
The Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat?
Lynette, did you make that name up?
If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
It belongs to my friend.
With us here to keep watch, it should be fine.
Go on, Bunny.
Cats are nice, so they are.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
So, is this your friend's cat?
Yes, exactly.
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Sus.
A liar always has a tell.
Oh!
The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
By the way, I have been trying to figure out a way to do this thing. It's such a silly idea. Whenever someone types in sus in chat, I want the Among Us sound to play. I haven't figured it out yet, but I want it. Just gotta figure it out. And actually have time to sit down and figure it out. But that's the thing I want.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here, Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation.
It's crime D&D! Crime Detective D&D!
A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him.
It's the guy, isn't it? The guy that's pretending to be from the Humane Society? I mean, we'll find out. Maybe he was fine, but if I were on the run, I don't think I'd come back either.
The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the Guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations. If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead.
So what's being smuggled?
A new kind of illegal drug. Imitation synth. We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix.
Holy cow, I sneezed so intensely. I like sneezed and I looked up and I saw my face and I was like, where am I? Okay, anyway, let me reread this. Compensated synth on the market. Is it something that goes away overnight? Even without substance on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix. Okay.
And criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly. After the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner.
Who is he exactly?
He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre Lafayette, to be exact.
Lafayette.
Man, my insight is banger. Slight look of dread just crossed Lynette's face. Strange, she usually schools her expressions with mechanical precision. I wonder... Like, part of me is like, maybe this is something else in Lynette's path, but my first brain is like, maybe that's the person that, like, bought her. Or, like, that last name.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson. In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him. At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that. It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lafayette family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine. Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
Could his family be hiding him?
That's not possible, actually. The Lafayette family has been gone for a long time.
Okay.
Exactly. Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch, were murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit.
Yeah, that sucks for Lynette to relive or think about then.
The family is engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity. Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is.
Is it really okay to share all this information with us?
Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice. There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout. If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that.
Should we keep Bonnie with us for the time being?
I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
Pierre isn't the one kidnapping Lynette. His family did. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, yeah. But still, the last name alone. Oh, you don't look so good.
It's nothing. I'm fine. It's just... the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home. But before anything worse could happen, Father intervened.
Oh, so expressive those years, right? Also, dang. I'm glad she was able to. So that's what happened.
Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Linny and I to join the House of the Hearth after all these years. I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
Another Father W. Dude, for real though. Are you okay? Do you need a minute?
Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Linny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job. Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fermine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time.
You think he knows about Pierre?
It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way.
Along the way? Are we going somewhere?
Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode, and then we'll head out. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into Linny along the way.
Are you trying to help out Linny with this investigation, or are you trying to prove yourself?
A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what.
I also want to know what secrets he's hiding. Sometimes you just gotta take the bull by the horns, right?
Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
Alright. Perfect. Here we go. Lynette's very smart. She is. This festival came out right after the Fontaine Festival. Oh, nice. I do appreciate, though, how a lot of these quests don't really need the timeline. Like, context helps, yes, but they really don't need it, in my opinion. Like, they can be done whenever, and it still will flow naturally, because Fontaine is still known for, like, its theatrics. So it makes sense for theatrics to be out and around. She froze and Linny! There we go. There he is.
Lynette, you're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In fact, I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
It makes sense that he would appear, but it's also kind of a surprise for this.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
This is Officer Shovras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
We meet again. Okay, this part does make the context and makes sense with the context of the event.
Nice to see you.
I missed you.
I should clarify something. Mr. Linny's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything. We've brought on Mr. Linny as a consultant in the past. He was instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes. I was hoping he'd be able to provide some valuable insight this time around as well.
Are you here because of the Lefebvre case?
So you've heard everything then?
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family. Some people even believe the House of the Hearth was involved. Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave a shred of evidence. This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that harbinger. I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two. Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family. Plus, you were victims back then more than anything. I sought Mr. Linney's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more.
You're really teaming up with the House of the Heart?
The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for.
I mean, fair. I'm assuming you wouldn't be opposed to some extra help?
Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
He really is very overprotective.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear. She doesn't need saving anymore.
Oh, I know you want to protect your little sister, but little sisters don't stay little forever. Oh. Ah. I'm sorry, Linny.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
But also, I'm glad you're realizing that.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway, her name's Bonnie.
Well, if there are no objections, then I suppose the only thing left to say is... Lynette, Traveler, welcome to the team.
Yay! Travis and Lynette share with you what they've learned on the past few days.
It appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems. The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like. In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
Oh, I mean, Pierre is a bastard child.
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher with relative ease.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his co-workers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
What happened?
Apparently, Pierre was once addicted to synth. He tried to use the resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his actions. But it seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information to the higher authorities. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse.
Maybe we'll have to take our investigation elsewhere then. Did you find anything useful at his residence? Let's see. Yeah, residence.
Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson. Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced or stored. Those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean. We didn't find any records indicating possible involvement in overseas transactions either. So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him as a major suspect at first.
Maybe he had a separate, dedicated area where he made the imitation synth.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out his business.
After he disappeared, The guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across any suspicious locations.
Poisson.
What is it, Lynette?
You know Hotel de Boer, where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
A cat? You mean...
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat in their report. So this is her?
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson. If that's true, then...
She must have wandered off only after Pierre brought her to his secret base.
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Wait, you think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want her to do?
I love guard poodles so much. I can give it a go. You know what? Let's just keep going down this random rabbit hole. This one! Woo! Bonnie seems to understand what you want her to do. She flicks her tail and meows in direction.
Near the coast, the beach, and beneath the cliffs. The place we're looking for is most likely north of the Court of Fontaine.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and humans are actually pretty alike. When it comes to communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course, body language has its limitations. You're not going to be able to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead. Let's try and find a place that matches the clues Bonnie gave us.
That was an option one. Dang it. Well, we'll just keep doing it for this round and see what happens, I guess. Also, you mentioned, I want to see Lynette playing hide and seek. That would be so cute. I would love seeing, like, we'd have gotten quite a bit of content of Linny and Lynette being little kids, but man, it's always so much fun seeing them as little kids. Let's throw Fremine in the mix. The three of them playing hide and seek. That'd be so cute.
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere.
Am I following the cat? I am! Let's go, kitty! Look at it run! Oh, the sweet bean! Bean! Ah!
Gardamex ahead.
What? Oh. Hi, friends.
Time for takeoff. Truth repeats its course. I swear by my sword.
Squall and Fury.
Oh, there's more of you.
The wind rises.
Ooh, I managed to get 3. Nice. Cat. There you go. Go, Bonnie, go. Up here?
Wow, Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the Special Patrol here and now. No questions asked.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search. There's a lot to investigate.
All right, let's see what we can find. Can I talk to them? Looks like they're just investigating. But maybe they'll contribute.
Aha! Just as we thought. This is where the imitation synth was being made.
These bottles and jars, they're all imitation synth?
Looks like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here. In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, there's a large quantity of cleaning agents and a few drugs I haven't been able to identify. These cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance, like its smell. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect traces left behind by the stuff. I'm sure that was the case for Pierre as well. It must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all those traces get washed away. But what are these other drugs for?
Bro, it's Jeffy! You're so right. I didn't even consider that. This is a huge open plate. A boat could have been passing by, and he could have been gone. Dang.
The material these bags are made of, it's quite rare.
Doesn't it look similar to the material used for your magic pockets?
It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber. But there's something special about the composition of these bags. I took a closer look, and it appears they're not only waterproof, but also corrosion and leak resistant. Even the strings look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner. From the look of them, they seemed far less durable as well.
So, kind of like one of those small sealed bags.
Very similar, actually. Normally, it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but if it was sealed away in a bag like that, it might be possible to elude detection for some time. But what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth hidden and sealed away, these bags seem a bit too conspicuous.
Oh, you checking in on Bonnie?
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house, there was no sign of these barrels, right?
What a tiny Textus fit here. That makes sense. He must have moved them, but carrying them all the way out here would attract way too much attention.
You're right. That doesn't seem like his way of doing things. How did he get them here then?
She's a cute kitty. She's such a precious kitty. Barrels show sign of water damage. Dried up water stains can be seen around the circumference of the barrels. There seems to be a pattern to the location of the water stains. For some reason, they appear to be limited to the lower half of the barrels. The lids don't seem very tight, leaving sizable gaps around the edges. But there doesn't appear to be any traces of water inside the barrels.
Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been submerged in water.
Based on the various ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his imitation synth. It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual traces of the substance on his person before he left. That's how he was able to get past the guard poodles.
That's why the Marechaussee Phantom didn't find anything suspicious in his home.
So then he transferred the imitation synth into small sealed bags and took it somewhere else for the drop-off.
No. I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him. That would potentially create too many eyewitnesses.
He's already out in the open and a boat could spot him any time.
The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles. But if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off, a quick search would reveal everything. That's still a very risky operation.
What about if the drop-off happened at sea? There'd be no one around to see him.
The barrels we found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water. If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
So he must have used something to tightly seal big bags full of air, turning them into airtight flotation devices.
Yes. With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then, wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Barrels that could float away and get lost at sea sounds difficult to keep in one place, kind of like certain pets.
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me? I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope. If a rope can be used to keep a pet from running away, then why not a barrel?
That's a good idea. Can I talk to them? I can!
I can't believe how much progress we're making with this investigation. Without your help, getting this far would have taken me an awful lot of time and manpower.
Glad to help. Lenny, what do you have to say about this?
It's rare to see Lynette in serious mode. I wonder how long she'll keep it activated for.
Alright, time to check out. Looks like this area. Into the water do we go! Yippee! There's a boat here.
The wreckage of a small boat?
Okay. Whoa! There seems to be something odd. What did I perceive? Ah!
Time to go up and report.
That's what I perceived. I'm doing really good on, like, my passive checks. But when it comes to actually conversing or choices, I mean, I guess it's just... I think of the bad rolls and I'm like, yeah, this sucks. But we've had a few successes.
As expected, we found a few pieces of rope and some anchoring stones underwater. If you attach them to a floating barrel, it would look like this. With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off. You would just need to drop them in the water at the agreed-upon location. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat. It must have been left out on the water and capsized due to the force of the wind and waves. Its small size, however, would have made it perfect for staying undetected.
Let's talk this through. Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave, and then row back and retrieve them after the transfer was complete.
Why use such a convoluted drop-off method, though? Wouldn't it be easier for both parties to meet up at the transfer point on their respective vessels and exchange the goods right then and there? I feel like that would be even riskier.
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face-to-face.
That
As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family, maybe he was just used to that sort of elusive lifestyle.
It seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relationship.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. It's possible they were just trying to keep a low profile. Two boats sailing to the same location at once could be too conspicuous.
Exactly.
The most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that. Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at least one other person involved in the operation, likely in charge of transporting the goods across the border.
That explains why we couldn't find evidence linking him to any overseas operations.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or something.
We can certainly check the various ports for that information. It's possible, however, that Pierre's associate also used a small boat for the transport, and docked along the shore rather than at a large port. If that's the case, it's unlikely there would be any record left behind.
Have you looked into the ports already?
Absolutely. Before Pierre disappeared, we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward-bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across the border.
Small boat and a few barrels isn't gonna get you very far.
You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. That's the only way they would be able to smuggle on a large enough scale to make a profit. They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections.
Well, even if we can't find any travel logs, we could still search for other clues.
Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks. Although, given the amount of ports that could be involved, we should probably split up.
I'll run home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress. I'll grab some reinforcements while I'm at it. Lynette, Traveler, why don't you head to Lumidoose Harbor and see what you can find out?
I love this harbor!
All right. Come on, Bonnie. You too.
You're doing great. Took me longer to get that perception. Really? Yeah, I feel like on my passives I've been very good. Also failed on the first animal handling check. Hopefully it'll be fine. Dude, guys, I love the music that plays at this harbor so much. I believe we've talked about it before, and, you know, given that Fontaine's been out for a while, it's not really, like, a secret. But, man, the music here is so good. I kind of like it more than Port Ormos. But I go back and forth between the two, to be honest. Oh, so good. I spent zero time here, so I'm
Lynette,
unfamiliar.
traveler.
It's such a good spot.
And Bonnie, too.
No, they got rid of the music.
What
Bring
brings
it
you out
back.
here?
Please bring it back.
Did something happen?
We're here to check the travel logs. I thought it would play during the cutscene. I'm so sad.
Oh. I see. Thank you for everything you're doing for the people of Fontaine.
What are you doing here?
I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after some travel logs, right? I can go fetch those for you.
Looks like I've got another hard day of work ahead of me.
Your voice is familiar. Are things usually pretty hectic around here?
No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently. Before that, everything was normal. All we had to do was confiscate anything suspicious and we could call it a day. Pretty simple stuff. But things are much more complicated now. We somehow let suspicious cargo pass through the port undetected. Not even our guard poodles were able to sniff it out. Even worse, we still don't know how the perpetrator was able to conceal the goods so well.
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections. Or at least, we're supposed to.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly. If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from, instead of letting them pass through the port.
Sorry for the wait.
No problem.
These are the travel logs for all the recent activity at the port.
It is interesting seeing her without her dress, because before I was like, that dress is so freaking fancy. Now I'm like, this looks normal. Gerard! Oh!
Oh, you brought Gerard with you.
Actually, he followed me here himself. It's like he smells something on me.
It takes a while for them to detect it.
Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Could be because we just left the place where the imitation Sith was made. Whatever Gerard smelled on you probably came from us.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able to disguise the goods at all.
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first? All ships coming in and out of the port are recorded here, except for the ones the port authorities ride to and from work.
Their voice is so familiar, I don't know why. You've flipped through the numerous travel logs. Several Humane Society listed, and the name really stands out.
The Humane Society.
You've encountered that organization before, right?
Their name is all over the exit logs. The purpose for leaving is always listed as overseas adoption.
Ah, the director of the organization explained that, actually. He said a lot of the cat and dog breeds unique to Fontaine are also very popular overseas. So his organization offers an overseas adoption program.
Oh, wait, I think I know the voice. I think. Hold on. Oh, what is their name again? Hold on. I can only remember them from this one show. And my caps lock is on. Who voices you in English? Jeremy Lay, I think, is who this is? What have they done recently? If this is them. Oh, they were in Fruit Baskets. I didn't know. If this is the person. But it sounds like them. Because there's like a little bit of the voice dialogue in there that reminds me of Michiru from B&A. But I know they did other stuff. Like Persona 5. Makoto! Makoto! That's the big popular one that people will recognize. I could be wrong, though.
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the man who came looking for Bonnie earlier.
The cat that fled from Pierre looks just like the cat the Humane Society is looking for. Could that really be a coincidence? It seemed as if Bernard was also hiding something. He seemed so insistent, but only ran a cursory check before just leaving like that. When he came looking for Bonnie earlier, what if he wasn't actually there to check if Bonnie was his missing cat? Maybe he was there for some other purpose.
Have you figured it out too, Traveler? The way the criminal disguised the goods? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was actually checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
This is so buck wild. He's using animals at a shelter to smuggle imitation synth.
Wait, what?
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion resistant.
So they wouldn't be digested. Oh, the poor animals!
There were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and airbags were used to keep them upright in the water.
So that animals would be able to breathe.
Those drug Chevres found at the secret base. She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used on human beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets. The perpetrator must have given it to the animals.
So that they would keep still in the floating barrels. This is messed up!
Pierre must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full of imitation synth at his secret base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
The sealed bags combined with an animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent of imitation synth.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would be difficult to detect.
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with synth in their stomach alongside ones without. That way, it would be even harder to say with certainty that something was amiss.
Do you think Bonnie could have imitation synth in her stomach?
She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have never left without her. I'm guessing he didn't know whether Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth before he fled. Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open, roaming the streets of Fontaine. If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes. He would have had no choice but to go after her.
Indeed! Oh my gosh. Be the perfect crime. This is insane! These poor sweet animals!
So, that's why he came to find you and insisted on taking a closer look at the cat.
He must have fled in a hurry. That fact is probably what spared Bonnie.
Wait a second, I'm a little lost here. I get the part about hiding the substance in the pets, but those, what did you call them again? Floating barrels? Why even put the animals in there in the first place? If you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly? Why not wait to hide the stuff until after the exchange has been made?
In order to make sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them.
And if any of the imitation synth leaked out, they also would have needed a lot of cleaning agents to get rid of the resulting smell.
That step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. So it was better left to the more experienced Pierre. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Okay, then let's head to the Humane Society right away and bring that guy to justice. I'll bring a Gardamek to speed up the process.
Oh, this is insane!
Sorry, but I can't go with you. Surely you'll be able to handle him, between Elodie's Gardamek and all three of you?
Don't say it like that. What if he's got a super secret thing, like a dragon? He's filled a dragon with synth, and he's gonna wreak havoc on Fontaine if we discover him. It's all or nothing.
The headquarters of the Humane Society should be somewhere around here. Bernard could show up any moment now.
You're the people from earlier. Wait, You're from the guards?
Hi!
After him! We can't let him get away!
Okay! Yeah!
Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy. Have mercy. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything I know.
The Humane Society has done so much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love, I lived worse than a dog.
No one asked. Tell me, how did you first get to know Pierre?
Oh, my respect for you grew.
Well, after I took over the Humane Society, it gradually became harder and harder to maintain its operations. Until one day, someone suddenly passed me a letter. It said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood what I was really transporting. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to the guards.
Oh, I'm so glad I picked this up. There's a hint of dishonesty in his trembling voice. He's lying.
You knew it from the very beginning, didn't you? The reason why you had to go through so many steps just to transport some animals.
I'd suggest that you confess everything right now if you don't want to add anything else to your list of crimes.
Yes, officer. I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that, I'd come by again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad. That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. He set up all the meeting times and found all the foreign adopters. Oh, and he even supplied all of the goods, too. I just did the transport. He was the one who planned out and executed everything else.
So where is he now?
Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person. We've only ever communicated through letters.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night. He said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though. But he did tell me to look out for the guards.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
So where is that letter now?
I burned them. It was on his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them. I wasn't even allowed to share them with the rest of the society employees.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
No, I swear, this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Well, we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know. I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both. Had it not been for you, I really don't know what would have happened to this case.
Bonnie helped, too.
That's true. It was all thanks to her that Bernard was finally exposed.
Good kitty! Bonnie suddenly runs and hides behind you and Lynette.
And it looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well. Then I'll leave you be. Just let me know if you find any other new leads.
I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion.
What's on your mind? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this. Because words are hard right now. So the whole time, they haven't had any contact with Pierre, right? No contact with Pierre. He's just been doing what Pierre told him to do. Who's to say it's not someone pretending to be Pierre? What if someone was pretending to be Pierre, like took his name, was acting as if they were Pierre. And that's the reason why they never really met up as well, is because if they met whoever was being Pierre, they would know that they are not Pierre. I don't know. I just have a suspicion that maybe Pierre has been close. I could be wrong. This could be insane copium. This could be like me at like the board and just being like, it's not Pierre. Pierre doesn't exist. They all died. She's pretending to be Pierre. I don't know. Again, could be wrong. I think I'm overthinking it. That's my theory. My theory is that she's Pierre. What is giving you this intuition? Just the cat hid behind us. I guess the word hide. Because Bonnie has been super friendly to like most people, but I've noticed that she has been hiding behind people, like specifically when she's around. I don't know. Well, we'll keep going. This crack theory will last probably 5 minutes. Ooh! Seems Lynette still has something on her mind. Do I have two things? Dang, this is all one. Well, Lynette, talk to me. Something's on your mind still?
It was that obvious, huh? Well, even though it didn't feel like Bernard was lying, after talking to him, I'm getting an even stronger sense that something's not quite right.
You too? Oh, I'm not crazy.
We investigated so quickly that perhaps we've missed a thing or two along the way. Let me activate deduction mode and consider things again from the top to see if we can find anything new. Is there still anything unresolved or strange that we should try to consider?
Well, we found a puzzle on Bernard's letters. There's some unexplained part in the operation of the trafficking ring. I mean, none of these things are the things that I thought were suspicious. But maybe the unexplained part will talk about how Pierre never got seen?
Well, we've discovered that Bernard is responsible for the trafficking, while Pierre deals with supplying the goods. Is there something else in this scheme that we're missing?
Let's see. Handoff. We already proved that Bernard and Pierre coordinated the handoffs by passing floating barrels to each other. Okay. Connections. Any past member of the Lafayette family would probably have a number of connections outside of Fontaine. They always communicated in writing, and all those letters have been burned, so we can no longer confirm or trace anything. According to Chevreau's investigations, Pierre has been formally reprimanded for his synth-related research and can no longer get any materials from Fontaine Research Institute. Yeah. Bernard can be compensated for his work after completing his shipment. No suspicious record would have been left as long as he receives funds as an individual, rather than through the Humane Society. Is there anything else? This goes to my theory. No, I don't think that could be used to
There's
answer
no
the
need
question.
to rush. Let's see if we can find any other suspicious points about this case.
Dang it! Alright, well, bad end received, I guess. What's on?
The Marechaussee Phantom found Bonnie and the Lefebvre pendant at Pierre's residence. That was the beginning point of our investigation.
Why is Pierre a suspect? Bonnie has been with Pierre ever since the first meeting between Pierre and the Marechaussee Phantom, and that's why Elodie came looking for her, but that shouldn't be all. End of Lafayette. The family is infamous in Fontaine, and even their innocent scions became targets of revenge, but Pierre just carried the pendant with him as if it was an ordinary piece of jewelry. Hold on. Just carried the pendant with him as if it was an ordinary piece of jewelry. pet handoff. According to Bernard, the trafficked pets were taken directly to Pierre's base rather than to Poisson. Pattern on the pendant is proof his order is illegitimate to file, but this shouldn't be all. Pierre became the key suspect of the case because of a suspicious cat and a suspicious pendant.
Why would he leave such an obvious trail for us to follow when he took so much care to not leave any traces of imitation synth in his home? Bernard claims to have received a letter last night from Pierre. In the letter, Pierre stated that he had gone into hiding. Is there something wrong with the letter?
Lost cat Bonnie. Bonnie had already been on the loose for a few days when we found her yesterday morning. That means she had already broken free when the letter was written. If the point of the letter was to tell Bernard to get on his guard, then why didn't it also warn him about Bonnie? Regardless of whether he sent it anonymously or secretly delivered it himself, it's no longer something we can follow up on. The letter didn't mention Pierre's hiding spot, although it makes sense that Pierre wouldn't want anyone to find him.
If Bonnie had imitation synth in her body, then she was a liability that had to be recovered at all costs. But if she wasn't carrying anything, then it would have made sense to tell Bernard not to worry. And thinking about it, Bernard only attracted our attention in the first place because he came to look for Bonnie. Could it be that the person who wrote the letter also knew nothing about Bonnie's whereabouts? Or they had a separate goal entirely? Perhaps we are now closing in on the truth.
I hope that was enough. I feel like I should have gone that third option right, and I didn't because of my crack theory. Because I was torn between one of the two options, and I decided to go with my crack theory. Maybe I should have gone with the other one that made more sense.
Now behave, and follow me to the interrogation room.
Ow! That hurt. Ow!
Is it really okay for them to go? No! Adequate preparation and friendly aid can sometimes affect the result of these checks. Your current check bonuses will be added to previously your randomly drawn number, making it easier to pass checks. 5, 5. We have a 10. Let's go! Natural 20! No, we can't let her get away. Hold it right there.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Sorry, I know I probably peaked my microphone so badly. I'm so sorry. To believe you're this lucky? I don't know what's going on! I don't know what's going on! Bernard and Pierre, they weren't really acting alone, were they?
Huh?
I see. It all makes sense now.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our confessed criminal here has no idea what you're saying.
There goes your gotcha look! You're right. That makes me super scared for my Robin pulls next week. Should have missed 2 things. I had a plus 15. I still failed. Okay, can I be honest about something? So, I almost never want to admit this because it feels so fake or like wrong, and I feel like admitting it is gonna make the magic disappear. But there are some times I get a feeling about something and I'm like, okay, I have a good feeling about this, and I go with that one. Like, you'll notice with the card stuff, I was moving my mouse through it. There was one card I was like, I think I could pick this one. But I got this feeling, I was like, no, pick the third card from the right. I was like, okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. It happens every now and then, and it doesn't feel like they're actually random, right? That's the thing, is I've used this to win games in Mario Party. Knock on wood! It's so hard to explain because it sounds like such bullcrap, right? Like, how? How do you just have a feeling and then it turns out right? I don't know. But I never want to admit it because I feel like if I admit it, then maybe the gift is gone, you know? But like that was a moment where I was about to pick one of the cards on the right, but I felt like I have to pick something over here. I don't know. National intuition, or that's all. I don't know. Knock on wood. I don't want this to go away because I really like it. Me, I just roll with and think nothing, and that's when I got lucky. That's fair. If I follow my head and heart, I got bad things. That's fair, honestly. That also happens too. Time to see my crack theory's real.
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre.
Bernard thought he was communicating with Pierre, and Pierre thought he was taking orders from Bernard. Ooh. But for all this time, neither of them knew that there was a third person all along.
That never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and the pendant and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom?
Among Us! Any animals Pierre received from the floating barrel should have been taken directly to his base. And considering his precarious situation, the pendant should have been the last thing Pierre would leave lying around.
Both of these things are in stark contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. There's only one reasonable explanation. He was following orders, just like Bernard. He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat and the pendant, and our undercover agent will be sure to help you. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
They instructed the two men to communicate through letters and barrels specifically so that they never get to meet each other. Honestly, this third person probably planned to sell both of them out from the very beginning.
What? You can't be serious. There was a third person involved?
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that only Bernard and Pierre were working together. The case appeared extremely simple. Bernard did the trafficking, Pierre the imitation synth production, drugging, and stuffing.
With everything accounted for, the third person would then be cleared of all suspicion.
Wait. But that doesn't make any sense. If that's the actual truth, then as soon as Pierre is caught, you explain his side of the story and the third person will...
Yep, which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be found again. Once they had instructed Pierre to expose himself, the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken care of, and he should take Bonnie and safely return to his base.
Then they ambushed Pierre and made him disappear.
Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
And you know, I might be jumping the gun, but let's say if a cat saw their owner die, they would be very wary of the person who maybe killed them. Bernard would then testify that Pierre was the one who came up with the whole plot, and Pierre would be seen as having gone into hiding in anticipation of getting caught.
Wait, so you're saying that the letter I received yesterday, the one that made me think Pierre was still alive, it was also sent by the third person?
Is that what happened? I'll get back to headquarters right away and reinvestigate this case from the top.
Not so fast.
Chevra said that assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law, and that Pierre was a scion of the Lefebvre family. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true scion have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Miss Elodie Lefebvre?
Huh?
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far? You're right. I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case. I'll make sure to correct my behavior.
You deliberately fed us lies, but even you could not control every last detail of your plan. There was a flaw in your scheme, and something didn't quite go as planned. Getting the Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan. Had they failed to take notice of the Humane Society, they could have cast a wider net, and you couldn't predict what they might possibly find if given enough time. This, of course, was the main weakness of your plan.
And once Special Patrol and Lynette got involved, it became even harder to control the outcome of the investigation.
As someone accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings, so all of the suspicion would point towards Bernard and his society.
The great option, of course, would be to also dispose of Bonnie and leave her body at Pierre's base in anticipation of a later discovery.
Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had been mistreated and turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending boatloads of animals out of Fontaine.
However, something unexpected happened at the base. Bonnie managed to escape in the chaos.
It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth. Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the Steambird. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. That was your plan, in any case. With that, you'd have been able to lead the investigation towards the Humane Society.
Also, this is such a clever way to storytell. I like this. But Bonnie was very lucky, but you were extremely unlucky.
Bonnie had managed to escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. But as shrewd as you were, you came up with another plan right away. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect.
You knew Lynette was investigating the case with Chevreuse, and you also knew of Lynette's previous encounter with the Lefebvre family.
You used the Lefebvre name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidu's harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the society?
By showing us the port's travel logs.
You even highlighted the society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the records. Moreover, the logs contained no records of the Port Authority's activities. In other words, your activities.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
I am insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw materials for imitation synth from the harbor to a boat, and then sail over to the meeting place full of floating barrels.
Once Bernard had placed the animals in the barrels, you'd open the lids and also dump in the raw materials. As long as you did it before Pierre came before his pickup, there'd be no one the wiser.
And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials and surreptitiously operated between them.
First, you got in touch with both parties and secured the raw materials. Then you instructed Bernard to prepare the floating barrels and the animals. After that, you slipped the raw materials into the barrels next to the animals and requested that Pierre pick up the barrels and bring them back to his base.
Pierre manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you provided, stuffed the animals, and placed the animals back into the barrels. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animals and shipped them out of Fontaine once he had received enough for a full batch. This is the truth behind your smuggling ring.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
You've sure got an extremely lively imagination.
So what do you think she's going to say next?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels? But do you have any evidence? But do you have any evidence?
But do you have any evidence?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found. So you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good. That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Lefebvre name on him. After all, dead men tell no tales. But you still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard has confessed to the authorities. To do that, you either will hide his body until you've found an appropriate time to set up a fake suicide scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. Submerged in water, for instance. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it.
You could also keep him in a very cool environment to be handled later, or set a fire to make it look like he burned himself to a crisp. An example of such place may be somewhere in your own boat, or underneath the waters near Luminos Harbor.
There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death, after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, they'll surely find Pierre's remains. Especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or set up a fake suicide scene to cover up the murder.
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all, I'm...
Elodie Lefebvre!
Woo! I was waiting for you guys!
As the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case. If you have any objections, you may raise them later during interrogation.
That's right. We received a message from Luminos Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society. We didn't expect to run into you at such a critical moment.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used all kinds of excuses to swap your shifts. And if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and those of certain foreign ships, they'd find them to be an exact match.
That's just a coincidence.
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities. But as far as evidence goes, that should be enough to warrant taking you into custody.
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals. Who would have thought that they would have planted someone within the guards?
Judging from the timeline, they likely arranged for you to enter the guards before the fall of the clan. But they probably didn't expect you to turn it to your advantage and use your job to save yourself during the purge.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall, thus clearing yourself of suspicion. You brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness. Just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live. You've been doing this for years.
So you played me like a fool after all?
Oh, Bernard is suddenly locked down by a sudden strike?
What was that word you used? Ally? You think that someone as foolish as him is worthy to call himself my ally? They were worthless scum, all of them. Not just Bernard and Pierre, but those Lefebvres too. They always just saw me as a tool. I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their lot. Not only that, but because they wanted me to become an undercover agent. They stripped me of my name, too. I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive. And even once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. always worrying that their enemies would come knocking at the door. Do you know anything about what I've been through over all these years? My life as the last Lefebvre?
Oh! There's a hint of drama in the voice, and the suddenly agitated Elodie feels like her anger may be part of some kind of bluff.
I don't, and neither do I care.
No one asked. Gosh, can we bring this around? No one asked.
Are you for real? Aren't you a Lefebvre victim too?
Are you for real? I'm trying to make this dramatic. What?
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey!
Oh.
Don't come any closer.
What's that?
Know what this is? I've secretly planted loads of explosives in the Humane Society. Just one step closer and... whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees, they'll all be blown up into smithereens. Surely you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Deception. Assist Linny in deceiving Elodie. Stealth. Launch a sneak attack while she's distracted. Help Shifters intimidate. Try to convince Elodie to surrender. Shoot! This is hard. This is hard. I don't know. I don't know for this one. I'm torn between these two. Let's try... Let's try persuasion! 15! Guys, I think this is where it ends. Please, 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 please. Hilarious. Let's just calm down here for a moment.
That's enough. I have nothing left to say to any of you. Gardamex, get him!
Let's just calm down here.
She's trying to escape. We need to end this fight as soon as possible.
Oh, you got it.
Wind, hear me.
Wretched vermin!
Ha! Busted so quickly, huh? Good thing I've already bought enough time to escape. Ah!
It was insane. I don't know.
Phew. So I was right after all. It's easier to deal with the person causing the problem than the problem itself.
What about the device she had? It looked fake.
This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
So she really was just bluffing.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
She also pretended like she had a villainous breakdown, as if she had no choice but to kill to escape her life.
Well, given that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd have gone to the society in person to plant explosives.
Cheese place, you gotta pick carefully. I did.
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning and find someone better to take over the Humane Society. I might need a few statements from everybody. Would you be able to come with me?
If statements are all you need, can Linny provide them on my behalf? I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. I also had an appointment with the Traveler before we got interrupted.
Tea time! What did she say? Oh, you mean when you said I could stop by your place?
Ah, so you do remember. Yes, I invited you to come over to our place. Once I'm done talking with the troop, I'll make a nice cup of tea and bring Bonnie to wait for you outside of my door.
How's it going, guys?
You can leave the rest of this to me. The other guards will be joining me shortly. Don't worry, they won't have another chance to escape.
There are still a few things I'm curious about. How did Elodie manage to get her hands on raw materials?
The materials have many other regular uses outside of being used to make imitation synth, so they're not immediately subject to being confiscated or destroyed. The harbor would usually just seize them for some time while the customs paperwork is filled out and approved. If approved, they'd be let through, and if not, they'd be returned to sender. Elodie probably used her position to replace a portion of the shipment with something else before sending the whole shipment back to sender. Given that the foreign merchants who sent in the shipments were probably working with her in the first place, they likely just never reported the difference in what they sent and what they received. We will, of course, continue to investigate the rest of the details of this case. Now that we've caught Elodie, figuring out the whole scheme should just be a matter of time.
Also, while Chevros was talking, I just want to point out, this also encapsulates my luck. I got a natural 20, right? Very next thing I pulled, natural 1. That's a pretty good summary of my luck.
Lynette must have spent a record-breaking amount of time in serious mode today. I can't remember the last time I've seen her like that. Could it be because of a special someone?
Shush. There's still some things I'm curious about.
Based on information that we found before, imitation synth was first circulated on a small scale in Fontaine before becoming a large-scale smuggling scheme. I'd assume that the first offerings of imitation synth came from what Pierre made in his early days. But since he was not experienced with running a clandestine operation, he was soon discovered by guard Elodie. Elodie saw the opportunity to make a great profit in his work, and perhaps even the chance of making a new life for herself, so she decided to cover his tracks. She started writing to him in Bernard's name, using what evidence she had compiled and the promise of enormous profits to blackmail him into cooperating with her. Unfortunately for her, she ran into Lynette. Even though my sister doesn't like to focus too much on a regular day, serious mode Lynette is one of the most perceptive people I've ever known. Still, all of that thinking really saps her energy. I need to go give some statements on her behalf, so I'll leave the recharging to you.
Got it. Well, sucks to suck, guys. Said by the guy who risked us as soon as he woke up, talking about his morning voice line. Yeah, I don't have Lindy, so I can't see it, but I have heard of it. I was about to say it, then I breathed wrong. Da 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 da. What a good melody.
Black tea and a cute kitty. Truly the best combo for standby mode. Want some?
A cup of tea, please.
I hope you'll like it.
About Elodie's case, are you not interested in any follow-up developments from it?
Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease. Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea party?
The tea party.
Great answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now, I'm running low on both time and energy.
The key isn't how long you spend in standby mode. With quality time, you should be able to recharge more quickly.
You're right. I can sense it. I'm recharging very quickly at the moment.
I still have a question, though. When did you start to suspect Elodie?
Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her.
My gosh, same! Although it took me 2 times, but... Back then, Elodie tried to get close to Bonnie.
Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Or perhaps Bonnie just instinctively knew that she wasn't a good person. Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. But if cats like you, you're probably alright.
Fair enough.
Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts, and they're pretty sharp. I mean, just look at Bonnie. She took a liking to you the moment you met.
Oh! Oh, cute! Adventures, investigators, and cats.
Oh, she's got treats!
Your story has come to an end for now. Dang! That was fun! Oh! There's an alternative ending. Is this... The situation seems to have changed. Is this where we just close the case? Hold on, I was gonna end it, but if we could just close the case, and then we could get 2 endings, that'll make me feel better. So let me head back in. A second, I accidentally clicked out. Let's do this real quick then.
Swallow Fury.
It's such a good song to sing to, guys. Okay. Sorry, Lynette.
Now behave, and follow me to the interrogation room.
I'm glad I was able to get this right the first time.
Ow!
We can leave Renard's interrogation to the guards. Let's first rescue the animals at the Humane Society.
Is everything really over?
No! But this is bad end. We got good end at first, and you know what? I will take it.
I still feel like the relationship between Pierre and Bernard is not as simple as it appears. Also, I've had this strange sense that something's off the entire time we've been on the case. And it has only gotten worse.
Oh, that hurt. No!
No good. I've still got nothing, and I'm nearly out of energy.
Don't force yourself. Just leave it to Linny and the others.
All right. I'll stop thinking about it for now. At the very least, we've made it so that no more animals will suffer like those poor animals did. And that's what I hope. Let's go to the Humane Society and see if there are any animals left that might still need our help before my energy for today completely runs out.
Oh, well, you're still able to check on the cats, though. That's good. The truth remains submerged in the dark undercurrents, yet hope already lies beyond the cage. Nice. All right, I feel good about that. This was so fun. I also like how this hangout, like, incorporates randomness to it. It makes it fun and unique, you know? Like, it changes how everybody will play it. Like, I've as we were going through cutscenes, I would all notice when Quentin was like, wait, this didn't happen for me. And I think that's a fun element to add to Hangouts. Yeah, dynamic. That's a good way of putting it. I gotta remember to be calmer with my voice. I'm drinking a lot of water. Could also just be because I'm super tired. Yeah, so we unfortunately weren't able to finish Lynette's Hangout. And I will be honest, I don't know when we'll be able to get back to this, because next week, Honkai Star Rail's story is going to be updated. And then, it is late, so I won't be able to finish the rest today. Honkai Star Rail's story is going to be updated, and chances are that's going to take us a few weeks to get through. And then Sino's getting a character story quest that we got to do too. If the event is short enough, maybe we can do that one, but that one is easy to get. Okay, tell me what I have to do to get this one, because if I could get 3 out of that, it might be good. I forgot Sino's quest. Yeah, supposedly it's not going to be immediately available. I think we have a few weeks. I think it's going to be available like when Sino's banner happens, because I think just a 50-50 check. Maybe we'll save it for next time then. just because, like, I worry if I win my 50-50, you know, it's going to progress here. I would rather save that for next time. So, yeah. It's going to be a while before we do Lynette's Hangout quest, but feel free to follow me on socials and keep in touch, or, like, follow streams and whatnot, because if there's free time, then we'll probably return to that. Do neither help or go back to the reception. Oh, that's how you get it? Okay, that's easy then. We'll do that super quick. I know it's really late. We'll do this super quick, but it, you know... Behold! Just to save time for next time, you know? Oh, DC 10? Okay. Makes me a little bit more scared, to be honest. But I guess we'll see what happens. Yep, I saw your message, Alpha Beta. You don't have to spam that you hope you can get adventuring.
Quit following me.
But yeah, good luck at getting him. Even though his banner's gonna disappear in a few days. Good luck. You should really go for him. You don't have to wait for stream to, like, let us know. And you can back out. That's true. I guess I just don't want to, like, interrupt the flow.
Was I
you know?
using it right?
Oh! Look! Look! Do you guys see that?
If I just...
Do you guys see that? Skip! They added skip buttons! Dang, that's nice. For Hangouts. That's super convenient for Hangouts, guys. Like, the amount of times I've skipped dialogue and just clicked through stuff, that's so convenient. That's gonna be such a time saver. Okay, let's try this.
Huh?
Do neither. If it was that urgent, someone would have come looking by now. That applies to both your troop and Bonnie's owner.
What you're saying is, since nobody's come looking, I can just keep hanging out with Bonnie for a bit longer? Is that really okay?
Well, Bonnie seems to sure like that idea. This one.
You make a good point.
We could just stick around here for a while. So if anyone does come looking for you, they'll find you.
Okay, well...
That was actually
Bonnie
insane.
Hasn't strayed too far from where she went missing. There's a chance we might bump into her owner in either the Steambird offices or the restaurant. So, stick around here in standby mode? Yeah, that suits me.
You're going into standby mode. Shall we find some cat food?
Oh, good idea. Bonnie's definitely hungry.
5 times! I'm so sorry, Quentin. If we're getting cat food, should we get some snacks?
May as well. We could be here a while.
Let's find a place to chill.
When I was trying to find somewhere I could space out earlier, collect my thoughts.
Yes, of course.
I figured the cafe might be a good shot. Alright then. Plan of action, spend the whole day spacing out. In standby mode.
I like that plan, Lynette. Speedrun? That's fun. Super good ending. Standby mode. Doing nothing is the happiest thing. Honestly, so valid. Cool! I feel very accomplished. We kind of managed to somehow hit the same situation we did with Kaeya, where we did 3 out of 5 endings. But you know what? I'll take it. And you know what? Might as well collect these primos because I'm poor now. I'm so poor. Getting Mona made me lose so many stuff.
It's rather pathetic to force a conversation.
Calm down, bud. Calm down, bud. Whew. All right. Wow. Well, just did 5 times. 5 times. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, by the way. I know this is like, you know, not everyone does Hangouts and there's other stuff to do in game, but I appreciate you guys chilling with me and watching regardless. Like, it's not Arlecchino's story quest or anything like that, but man, glad I could finally catch a stream. It's been great having you. Thank you so much. It was the last one I got. Oh, really? Oh, right. You mentioned that earlier, how you were trying to get one ending and it took... I see. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. It'll probably be a while before we return to Genshin's, as I mentioned, Honkai Star Rail story update. New patch next Thursday. I'm gonna be wishing for, or warping. I guess that's how it's said. I'm warping, I'm summoning for Robin. Fingers crossed. If I lose my 50-50, we're gonna stop because Firefly's around the corner. And yeah, and then we'll start our next game on Wednesday. Sleepy time. It is sleepy time. Oh, I should probably head to the end screen. I'll hang tight. This is the end screen. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, time to eat. It's sleepy time. Also, I usually go through my activity feed if anything that happened. This stream, we had one follow, and that was you, Clang. I'm sorry if I'm botching your name. Cling? Is it Cling? I hope I'm getting it right. But yes, so that's the plan. New game, maybe next Wednesday. I will admit, it's like cringe, but with an L. Cringe. Oh, I see. Hopefully new game next Wednesday. Although I will admit, I've been tempted on adding Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door to the list of possibilities that we play, but that game doesn't release until end of May. But that temptation's there because I need something that's nostalgic, and that game would certainly be nostalgic for me. And then yeah, Honkai Star Rail next Thursday. Good luck to me. Klee. Oh, true, we did get to see Klee this stream. This is a good time. She's a sweet baby. All right. I think that's all I have to cover. Hopefully new Super Mario RPG episode Monday. Yeah, and hopefully Hoyo doesn't release anything life-shattering this weekend so I can sleep. Cool. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.